Oh, good. I'm glad that wasn't. Well, it's 9 o'clock, y'all. Welcome to Ignite. I'm so excited to be here. I am here. I am not John Pace. I wish I could be John Pace for a day because John Pace is the greatest agent, in my opinion, of all agents. John sadly had a emergency in his family. I can only tell you there was a death in his family and he could not be here, but please don't reach out to him as he's dealing with personal things. But I know he will definitely feel the love from KW and he's sad that he can't be here, but unfortunately this was unacceptable. So that's all I can tell you. Respectfully, we're not to, even if you want to send a card later, you can, but right now we're going to give him a lot of space. But definitely, all of us in KW are thinking about him.
Didn't know I could smile.
No, it was
Okay.
not immediate, but yeah, definitely a close family member. So sad times, but we just have to be grateful for what we have and people in our lives and always know that this life can bring us curveballs and be grateful for all the stuff that we have right now in this moment. So I'm grateful you guys are all here. I fortunately, when Patrice called me and asked me if I was able to teach this class, I said, well, which one is it? And she said, unit 9 and 10. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've done it twice. I was like, yes, I can do that. I would have been a little panicked if it was something a little more along the lines of negotiations, because John Pace is the king of negotiations. I'm definitely learning my negotiation chops because of my client that I just negotiated the heck out of on Saturday. But anyway, well, so welcome. I'm Peggy Thibodeau. I am in year 4 at KW. Can't believe it. So crazy that time goes by really fast, y'all. It just does. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I started this as fresh and unknown territory as many of you are late in my career. This is definitely career number, I don't know, 3, 4, something along those lines. As a career, I was a dance teacher. I performed professionally for about 10 years, and then I opened a studio and had that for 20 years. I was an entrepreneur, always was an entrepreneur. Then I sold my business and took care of my mother-in-law who was 100, and she managed to live to be 103. So that was a little bit longer stint than we expected. But during that time, I was able to work as an educator at a science museum, and that was so much fun. Probably one of my favorite jobs I ever had, working with kids, doing science experiments and blowing things up and all that. It was really, really fun. I never thought I would do that in my, 50s. Like, wow, this is something I could have really had fun with for a long time. But I've pretty much been an educator most of my life. I started teaching, gosh, when I was like, for my dance studio when I was growing up, 14, and then I taught on my own at 19, and then I went to college and studied more dance and theater, and then did more and like just kind of stayed in that world. But it's been fun stepping out. Well, when I decided to be a realtor, I literally looked up online and said, what can I do that can take me into my 80s, still working, since this is my retirement plan? And real estate just kept popping up in my face. I did do a little bit of insurance and I hated it so much. I got my license and sold insurance for a week and I stopped. I was like, I can't do this. So, but I learned a little more about insurance. So I just kind of found real estate as something that just kept coming at me. So my sister's a realtor. She was pretty high level realtor in New York. So her whole world of real estate was very different than mine is. But she encouraged me and said, you have the perfect personality for it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to sell people houses. I don't know how to sell people. I'm like, anyway, all that doubt I said, okay, I'm not going to put that in my way anymore. I'm just going to try this. And I actually really, really liked the classes. I liked learning about real estate. I thought it was kind of interesting. I'm like, oh, this is way more fun than insurance. Like this is more about people. Oh, I'm good with people. Okay. So that decision led me to KW. By fluke, I ran into a woman who, well, actually my daughter ran into someone who was here And she said she was a realtor, and my daughter said, my mom's studying real estate, you should meet her. And so we met for coffee, and she said, KW is great. I'd love to invite you to come meet Patrice and come in, and so that was it, and I loved it. And I just felt like I don't need to go anywhere else. So I didn't even interview anywhere else. I just came here and poured in, because I knew I told Patrice, my trajectory is a little bit different than the norm, because I am now at retirement age and I don't have the 5 years or 10 years to build this career. I've got to do it now. And she kind of was like, okay. And then 6 months I didn't have any business, and I was a little like, oh, wow, so this is really hard. This is a lot more than I thought would happen. But I did what you guys are doing. I worked on my database. I worked on my people I knew. I came to classes, and I got my first deal 6 months in. Well, actually 8 months in. And ended up being rookie of the year for that year, because I just like, once I hit it, I was like, okay. And I did a lot of prep. I did a lot of open houses. And my first deal was an open house. So to tell you that, not to brag, is to say, you can feel like, oh gosh, business is not here, but then you hit, once it starts, it really can start rolling. And you just kind of keep going, and it will grow. So now going into year 4, I've doubled my business this year, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. Came in at some price, but it's been a good adventure. I'm still learning, like you guys. I love coming to these classes. I still try to pour in, and I'm grateful. I really try to come from gratitude. I know when you feel like you're not getting business and you're a little nervous about finances. I mean, I'm not a wealthy person, never was, being in the arts, people in the arts were scrappy. So I was always scrappy. And so learning about money and how to manage it and how to earn it, and know that if real estate money is bigger than dance teaching money, I will say. But I had to pull my focus off of the money, and I had to put my focus on the business and what I think I can do as a realtor for people. And the minute I did that, everything started to work for me a little bit better. So I say that because, hi, good morning. Good morning. I say that because,
Sorry for being
it's okay. You're like, what, not even 10 minutes. I tend to be that way sometimes. Don't tell you. But anyway, I am definitely grateful for this place, because everyone, I feel, but this is how I feel, that they are very accepting of everyone at every place in their life. And we all share a common goal. We all share a common goal that we want to sell real estate. We want to be more successful. We want to have better financial success, and also more personal success. So if that headspace is where you are, that's great. If not, that's where the headspace that you want to really try to work toward, or I don't want to say you. That's the headspace I would say works best, at least for me. And we all know mindset is the key to real estate. If our mind is not in this business as moving forward, it can really get in our way. So with that being said, this is lead gen today, and that has a lot to do with mindset. It has a lot to do with knowing that every person we meet, every place we go, we have an opportunity. And sometimes opportunities happen, sometimes opportunities don't happen, but then there's still opportunities. And if you look at it as a plethora of opportunities, something's going to hit, and it will grow. So anyway, I would love to just hear real quickly, because I know y'all are all probably coming to all the classes, yes? So real quick, let's just do kind of around the table. And it's weird not having people online, because I keep thinking I've got to address the people online. I love that.
I'm
Hi.
looking.
I'm adjusting to not doing online, which is so great.
So exciting.
But if y'all don't mind telling me just your name and just why did you become a realtor? I'll let you start now.
Okay. I'm Mel, and I too am a career switcher from education, and okay. Well, why don't you just tell you I became a realtor? No, I've been in real estate, with, rental properties probably since 2018. And just went full-time as an agent, seeing that my passive income was making more than my actual job. So let me just dive in and see what I can do, to support my family.
Hi, good morning. My name is Stephanie. My big why is, I really wanted to do something different in my career.
And tell them what you do.
Oh, I'm a childcare, I'm a daycare owner. I have a daycare in Petersburg. So I already have some family. Before that, I worked in education. I worked at Michigan State for 20 years. I might be a little old since I'm telling my age, but it's always been servicing people, having connections with them. So
That's great.
I became a realtor.
It's a good crossover.
Yes.
Hi, I'm James. I got into real estate because of the service part of it. Came from a mortgage background, HOA management, so I've always been in the industry in different capacities. And on this particular end, I just like bringing hope where there usually isn't. A lot of people, since I've been on the inside as far as mortgages go, a lot of people talk themselves out of homes. And so I like to be able to see their eyes lighten up for a family, obtain a home, and they think it's possible. So that's the appeal, the servant aspect of it.
I love that.
you know.
Good morning, my name is Saran, and, I don't really have like one big why I'm in real estate, but I've been an ISA, basically like a coordinator for real estate agents for the past like almost 3 years, so I'm used to talking to a lot of people that are looking to buy and sell, and also like I don't really have people that purchase properties before, so I also want to know about real estate for myself to invest in my future and, build wealth, so I guess that's my why.
I love that.
Brian, I too am a career shifter, for various reasons. I was involved before this and realized that was not as self-satisfying as I thought it was gonna be the first year, but I still like helping people and with limited transferable skills to a business, obviously, this seems like the best thing to do, for people and use my business,
I'm Juanita Smith. I come from a 20+ year financial background as well. Well, why though, I really was interested in real estate as a kid. I was I had to be elementary school. I don't know if you all remember Channel 16 used to show the listings, and that's all they showed. I used to have a remote, so I had to change the TV. I love that. But as I grew older, of course, I started off in mortgage, and started working off in mortgage processing loans. That also, that actually kind of nurtured my interest in real estate. And then after doing some deals of my own, I said, okay, well, let me go try this out. I tried it like in 2010. Didn't work out. I went to test and I said, but it was on the book. So I'm gonna go back and take the test. Yeah, going through the whole book again, not knowing what to study, that didn't work. With 3 kids in school, that was not gonna work. So fast forward to today, I'm back at it.
Awesome.
Good morning, my name is James. I am a career shifter like most of y'all. Except I come from a completely different background. I spent 30 years as a helicopter mechanic for the Army, working on the Army helicopters or working for the state police on their helicopters. Got a back injury, huh? Yeah, do that.
Chrisanne, Sal?
Yeah.
You know Chrisanne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird. Small world of helicopter mechanics.
But, yeah, I got a back injury and the stress of the job was taking its toll on me. So I had to find a different career. And what led me to real estate was settling my in-laws' estate. And we had to get rid of some properties and I love to negotiate back and forth with people. And it was, just found it fun. So give it a shot.
That's awesome.
Ellen Bird. I got into real estate, because, my partner and I had some investment properties and I saw that it was creating generational wealth for us. We did not come for money. And, I was like, ooh, I want to try to give this to other people to do and more for myself.
There you go.
And that's what I got into real estate.
And how many years have you been in real estate? Two?
Maybe it's been not too full, maybe it's been too full. I just in November branched out on my own. I was with a team that did online Zillow-based leads. So I have no experience getting my own leads. It was just like pick up the phone, pay them a huge chunk of your commission. So only since November, less than a year, have I been like an independent agent trying to figure out how, to do this. I started like midway 2023. So although technically I started in 2023, I feel like I started in November because all I was doing was picking up the phone and like figuring out how to negotiate a contract. This
Yeah.
is like real deal.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. I know Ellen's hustling and I'm watching her succeed and it's so fun. Cause I didn't know all her background, so I think that makes it even.
Yeah, you want to know more, there's more there, but that
I-
is like, enough.
Like I said, yeah, Marina, good stuff.
Yeah, there's some wild stuff in there.
So just for those of you that came in a little bit after I'd spoken about John's case, he was supposed to be teaching class, but he had a family emergency. Unfortunately, a death in his family, and he had to go away for that. Please don't reach out to him, that's the ask. But definitely he will appreciate your condolences and your thoughts here collectively. So I'm here. And I'm grateful to be here. And I'm grateful that this class is one that I have taught before, so that made me feel a little more at ease. But this is about capturing leads, and I will say, there are lots of systematic ways of capturing leads, but there's also a lot of organic ways to capture leads. And I want to really dive into this. This is going to be an interactive class. I want you all to ask questions, comment, like give some of your stories if you need to. And I'll let you know if we need to kind of keep it rolling because we've got 2 sections to get through, but I do want to hear from you all and I want you to feel like this is a very safe space. I want you to know that there are no bad questions and there can be good constructive discussion. And that's what I love about Ignite. I love about KW is we all are agents. We're all learning and we're all trying to move everything forward, right? So just want to kind of put that out there. And now I knew I did this too long and then see if I can. Okay, and I have to just remind you, telemarketing, the whole rules of do not call list. Yes, okay. So got that. Also about fair housing, we all know fair housing, yes, you have to keep taking those classes to keep yourselves up to speed. Okay, so we're in the lead generation mode of Ignite. What I love about Ignite is it does take you through units that make sense of progression. So lead generation is the very, like, mindset's the very first piece that we have to tackle, right? Getting our head ready, getting our database ready, getting everything kind of prepared. But then lead gen is where our business is going to come from. So you all have already gone through, generate your leads, grow your database, capture your leads with open houses, capture leads through social media. And we're just going to go into more capturing more leads. So this just gives you today's agenda, and we're going to jump right into a quote. Who would like to read the quote, nice and loud and proud?
You love people, but at the same time, you haven't learned to love hunting for them. Gary Keller, Shift.
Yes. So this is so true. I feel like the word hunting is the key word here. You feel like you're hunting for people when you're really just trying to connect, right? So learning how to find business is a learned thing. It's not as natural as you think. We can all meet people, but learning how to get, capture them is a key piece of this. So, Gary Keller's wisdom always comes through. And then I have another quote. I love these quotes. Ellen, you want to give us this one?
Your number one job is to find ways to get in the path of other buyers and sellers.
So that is our number one job. how, and we're gonna talk about how we get in the path of buyers and sellers. Think about this, and I always tell myself that, I look at like the whole picture. Everyone has to have a place to live, right? And if we're fortunate enough to have the means to have a place to live, that is a wonderful thing in this country. Those are the people that are the people you want to get in front of. That's a lot of people, right? So then it's just finding the people who are ready to make that move. Everyone moves. Is there anyone in this room that's never moved? Anyone okay, so let's see if we have a record. Anyone moved less than 10 times in their lifetime? Anyone moved less than 20 times in their lifetime? Anybody moved more than 20 times in their lifetime? I think I have. I moved every, I don't know, what it's like 10 times within Richmond in like 20 years or 30 years, it's something insane. I know, like
Renting, buying.
renting, buying, renting, moving, renting, buying. Listen, my church, that's how that worked.
Right.
Moved here with literally $800 in our pockets, newly married, didn't know anybody, didn't know anything. Got jobs, moved again,
You learned to
moved again, moved again. Bought a house, cause I had a business and finally worked for me. Bought a house, had to leave the house. And then like in 2009, it was a bad year. And then rented again, and then rented again, because I was so mad at Mechanicsville, I had to get out of Mechanicsville. So then I went to the city, and then I went to Henrico, and then we moved to Arkansas, and then we moved again in Arkansas. But it was like, I literally am like, if y'all need any coaching on moving, I am. that coach. It is nuts. My family gets so mad at me because their address books are all like messed up because of me, because they got this match on. But I kind of like the fact that I've moved a lot. I moved a lot before I was married. I mean, so that's my journey. So yes, people do move. I don't know if they move as much as I do, and I don't recommend that, but I did buy a house this year. It is 1 story. We're getting older, so it looks like this may be it for a little while. So I don't know that I want to go anywhere. Although it's stirring in my head already, and I haven't even been there a year, and I'm like, oh, this house. That's terrible. So, so my point is, people move. And I think people are moving more frequently than they have in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, so there are 2 M's of lead generation, and we'll get back to the moving part later, since we're gonna talk about that. Message and method. So messaging, as you can see, has way more steps. You get the message out. You kind of follow the market. You match the market. Like the market says, these people are doing this, you go there. And then they make an offer, and then they get a direct, there's all these different things that happen. You have a target audience, you have your market conditions. You're kind of looking at all these things through messaging, but then the method is what's going to get you to the end. So the messaging, you have to go through all of these steps, but then your method, you have prospecting leads and you have market leads. And we'll dive into that in a minute, but those 2, if they're time blocked, you see what happens. If they're time blocked, you prepare it, you take action, and you maintain it. So that means if you time block it, you prepare when those appointments are going to happen, you take action at certain times, and then you maintain that system, and then you'll get returns. So that's, the system thing. And if any of you are creative minds and have a hard time sticking to one thing for very long, and you just like to be creatively operating, I feel you. I think that's a common thing for realtors, because we are people, a lot of us. And that tends to come along with being people instead of like sitting behind a system. So building a system for you is going to look different than building a system for me. But ultimately, if you kind of stick with these rules, Efficiency is what we want to aim for, and that method creates efficiency. Leads are everywhere. Do you believe that? Anyone want to argue? Okay, good. Because I'm saying that half kidding and half not, because I've heard a lot, and I've said it myself. I can't find any leads. I don't know where to find leads. I don't know where I'm gonna get my business. I don't know these people. I don't know people that buy houses. Anybody say that? Okay, leads are everywhere. You would not believe, I am in a circle of people that I would highly doubt from, sit back in my judgment chair and go, there's no way these people are gonna buy houses. I've sold more houses to this circle of people than I ever dreamed. My daughter's a musician in town. Do you think working musicians can afford to buy a house? I've sold 3 houses to actors and musicians just in the last year. They're out there. So you'd be surprised at you. That's why it's important to just go, okay, they're everywhere. And you don't know until you know, till you talk to them.
I got a prospect yesterday for helping carry Olive Garden to the door.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, oh,
And what are you gonna do with that prospect?
well, I already emailed her.
You can text them, you can text, email, call?
I emailed her, called her.
Yeah, good, Mel, good, see, that's the way to do it. So you approach them at Olive Garden, you connect with them, get their email, get their phone number, get to know them. And ask them if they are interested in real estate, like if they're looking to buy or sell. You're the professional, all of a sudden you put your real estate hat on. You might be there with your friends and you're in your jeans and your t-shirt and you're hanging out, but that's okay. Because you're still Mel, the realtor, Mel, the friend, Mel, the nice person on the street, Mel, the realtor. And you can switch those hats back and forth. I think people seeing that makes it more approachable, that they know you're a real person. And coming from a genuine, authentic place is also the key to that. Because we don't want to run out and just like force, hey, you want to buy a house? Never met you before, but hey, you want to buy a house? And what's your name again? Yeah. So that is not that would be flipping this whole thing around of asking first, then approaching, then connecting. Like, I'm gonna make sure you do it in order. All right, any ahas at this point? We're early in the game, but anybody want to share anything that they feel they've gotten from, like Mel just shared, I think kind of an aha. Anyone had any surprise connections that have popped into your world? All right, here you go. Prospecting versus marketing. Does anyone know the difference between prospecting and marketing? Can someone share what they think that might be?
Prospecting is more active versus marketing is more passive versus refined.
Yes, some marketing can be active.
Yes.
but yeah.
Prospecting is less focused, marketing can focus on a specific clientele to prospecting focused on that. And
Yes.
And this, effort, yeah.
You're right. So lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting and marketing. So there really are 2 ways to lead gen. And that is through these 2 active methods. Yes, marketing is more of you're casting your net. You're putting yourself out there by face, by brand, by occupation, and you're doing things that will make you more noticeable and make people aware. And there's all different things that you can do to market yourself. It's like when you watch commercials, how many of you like to flip past the commercial? The minute they let you skip, you skip. But the first thing you see when that commercial pops up is their brand. They don't miss that because they know you're gonna say it. Like how many of you, I remember there was a time where T-Mobile popped up on my phone every single time I opened my phone and I did something. It was like T-Mobile. And I'm like, skip. I'm not a T-Mobile customer, but But that popped in, I can remember that, and I can remember what that brand looked like, I can remember the colors I saw. That was marketing. Because that's now a brand of phone company that I go, oh, there's T-Mobile, I remember those ads. So that's kind of an example of like us marketing ourselves in any way, shape, or form. Prospecting is literally a whole different animal, which we need both. Now we're back to this whole moving, so likelihood of a move, 7 to 10 years. This was written in I believe this is from 2022. Maybe a little earlier, but there's been a lot of discussion about this. This kind of trajectory of what happens. Hi, Ellen. It's okay, she's got business. So you sell a house to someone. If they're a young couple, you figure there's gonna be a period of time that they're gonna be a young couple and they might grow a family, right? So you can put that as a time span. I would say put that in more 3 to 5 years. Depending, I mean, people are getting married older. So, 3 to 5 years is something you can kind of, 3 years would not be a real advisable time to sell your house because you want to build more equity, you want to kind of create more. But you never know, people are moving jobs much more frequently than back in the day. So maybe that first move might be a starter home, not exactly what they want, but the job, what am I, what am I trying to say? The housing market, as we've seen in Richmond, has really escalated and gone up in value. Like since COVID, it's really skyrocketing. It's starting to correct itself. So say a person buys a house right now, they're buying an average home in Richmond for $480,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of mortgage. So they may look at that and go, well, I need to be in this house 5 years. But in 5 years, they may walk away with, a high percentage of equity. So those decisions are based on, we need more space. We're going to grow a family. So that next move would be that family home. That might be a longer span. But then you never know, that's when they're in the thick of their career, they might end up switching, having to move out of state or move across town because they're not happy with their school district, or, there's all kinds of reasons. And then you've got the retirement, the later years of empty nesters. Well, empty nesters don't want to have a 4-bedroom house. A lot of times they want to get back down into a smaller home, everything on the first floor except for 1 guest bedroom. So you've got these opportunities that fall into place during this period. So 7 to 10 years, I would look at it as kind of an average from one move to the next to the next. But some of those timeframes will squeeze together a little more than others. But this is why all these little notches right here, I mean, these are all the touches that you're making with these folks to keep in front of mind. So when they're ready to make that move, you're their realtor. It's important to kind of keep in mind your clientele, that the stage of life they're in and what that looks like as far as where, what they're going to do next. Like I sold to a military family, single mom, and for sure she's going to be moving this next year. So I haven't been great about it this year, but I've been pretty good about keeping in touch with her. So I'm going to kind of jump back in and start reaching out and finding out what her plan is. She may end up choosing to rent her house, or she may sell it. But that was the whole plan from the beginning. So I tried to get her in a neighborhood that I thought was going to probably grow in equity over a 3-year period, and one that she would like for the time that she's here. So this is your marketing prospecting triangle. And I like the way Keller Williams uses these graphics to illustrate kind of weight. I look at a triangle as you've got weight. So the bottom of the triangle is prospecting. You really cannot have a good marketing strategy without good prospecting. The prospecting carries more weight to get you to that strong marketing. So your prospecting It's where you put the time in, it's the grind, it's where you contact your leads, it's where you talk to people. You're being proactive with your business, you're being proactive with your clientele, you're being proactive as a realtor. So say you're out, you're not missing networking events. You go to a networking event, you make a commitment to a networking event, you want to commit to it, be there every time. Every time you see them, talk to them and tell them what your business is doing, how the market's doing. In order to do that, you have to stay on top of learning the market, know your market, read the MLS updates every day. Get on MLS every morning, make that part of your time block. You know, after you do your morning routine, get on MLS, look and see what the market looks like, how many houses are on the market for that week. You know, what the sales have looked like, how many houses have been price decreased, how many houses have, how long things have been on the market. All that information is your little tool book or tool case. So when you meet these people out in your networking event and they'll ask you, gosh, Mel, I hear the market is really bad because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Our government might shut down in a day. We don't know what's happening. Yeah, we don't either, but we do know the facts in front of us that Richmond's housing market right now is getting stronger. We have more inventory. We have more new construction. We are still sitting in a place where you are making a better investment now than if you waited. So there's all these things that you can share with your clientele and with people you don't know, and that's all prospecting. Immediate results. That means when you're talking to that person, you want to go for that immediate result. That means get their phone number, get their information. If you're lucky, set an appointment. And maybe, I mean, that's not always luck. That's just you having skills and knowing kind of how to get to that point. But yeah, just having an opportunity in front of you, just kind of find ways to get to that result that you want. And then when you have all that kind of in place, then you can start looking at creating flyer campaigns, farming, neighborhoods. And yes, do that alongside all the other stuff. But don't spend money if you're not making money. Do the prospecting that doesn't really cost you money. It just costs you time and energy. The marketing, that's where, yes, you have to spend a little money to make money. You have to spend money on cards, you know. Although business cards are not always, a lot of agents don't use them anymore. They use the electronic cards. It's a free app. I use Blink, BLINQ. It's just giving them my card electronically, but I have to have their phone number in order to send it to them. So that gives me their phone number. There's one called Dot that you can just tap and then it just pulls their information into your phone and gives them your information. So just knowing that we want to do both, but we want to make sure that prospecting is happening all the time and the marketing is something that we add to our business as we grow our business. So these are some fun examples of prospecting. Now this is a little bit of an older list, so there's things that I think have changed. Phone or face-to-face. I will tell you, I am not a great phone person. I mean, I talk on the phone a lot to friends, but I don't even enjoy talking on the phone for very long. Like it drives me crazy. Anybody else feel that way?
Sometimes.
Yeah. And I know my kids sometimes are like, Mom, I'm really, I gotta go. I'm like, you know, that's kids. But a lot of people really prefer to text. I think it's sad. We're in a world where people are more comfortable texting than talking on the phone. But sometimes we're in places where we can't really talk. So texting is the next best thing, right? But being face-to-face, I think, is going to be your strongest prospecting. Like being somewhere, say if I just met Stephanie, I'm like, you know, hey, Stephanie, or hey, I don't think I've ever met you before.
My name is Stephanie.
Stephanie, hi, I'm Peggy. It's so nice to meet you. Yeah, so what brings you like to this event that we're at?
I'm just looking around, just trying to network with some people, get to know.
Oh, cool. What do you do?
I have a few occupations.
Oh,
and-
so am I. Awesome. So nice to meet you.
Come on.
So see, I was just super like, we just met. She's realtor, so that's cool. We just, I made a realtor friend. Maybe a realtor partner, maybe a referring partner. You never know. But yeah, that's face to face. And if you don't engage, it's not really face to face. If it's like, hi, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
And she does that. I mean, that just, you see how that didn't go anywhere. That could be considered I made face-to-face contact, but no, you really did make face-to-face contact. You know, you gotta engage, have that conversation. And I've been doing this kind of stuff all my life. The little girl in me goes, oh my God, I'm terrified. And then the adult in me says, I gotta do it because you know what? I'm not gonna go anywhere if I don't. I'm not gonna make any money. I'm not gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm not gonna do anything. I gotta be brave and go. And now it's easy. But I would say to those of you that may have that little thing screaming inside going, not me, this is not comfortable. I'm an introvert. I'm not an introvert, but probably was as a kid, but not as an adult. But, you know, it's just kind of like knowing those are the tools that will help you and practicing like what we just did. Practice that. The more you practice, the more it comes naturally. Okay, so FSBO, anybody know what a FSBO is? It's us right there. FSBOs are really interesting. I'm not a FSBO person. I attempted to do work on a FSBO down the street. They've been trying to sell this house for, oh my gosh, 8 months. They renovated this house. They over renovated a house in my neighborhood, which I live in Highland Springs. I got a small little bungalow, really good price, y'all. If you want to be my neighbor, I know there's a house for sale. But this house, they over renovated and they overpriced it. And I went in and I talked to the woman and I said, yes, and I live down the street. I said, I see you've got this house for sale by owner. I said, it's beautiful. And I looked around and I said, so how's it going? She goes, oh, I don't know. We had so many problems and we had to put so much money into it, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I said, well, so what price are you looking at? She was like 460. Okay, y'all. So I don't mind sharing. I bought my house for 244.
Oh, gosh, that's 246.
I said, I'm so sorry. I just bought my house in March and I set your comp at 244. I said, you might want to revisit your comps. Cause I said, and I sold another one around like a couple blocks that way for 260. And I said, so you gotta really kind of rethink your comps. And she goes, oh. Now she's got for sale by something, but I tried to get her business. We didn't have much luck and she had done it.
She's trying to recover costs.
She was trying to recover costs and I said, you really need some marketing and get it on MLS and, you know, get this thing out there, but she didn't do it. And now she finally signed with something. I don't even know. Hauser? You ever heard of Hauser? HOWEER.com? I'm gonna look it up.
Where is it house? Oh, you said W though.
HOW, no, yeah, HOW, like Wowzer, but Hauser.
Wow.
Anyway, so that FSBOs can be a good opportunity, and here's one opportunity with FSBOs. You can go to you can reach out to a FSBO, and instead of saying you want to list their house, say, I have a potential buyer that may want to buy your house. How much are you wanting for it? And then like, oh, yay, excited. But then you could say, well, I'll tell you what, if you'd like, I would be happy to host an open house for you if you want me to see if we can get some buyers. And, you know, just kind of work at it from a different angle. And then you can start that conversation. There are some agents here that do FSBOs that are really, really successful at that. And it is a whole method, but that is one way to prospect. And you can find FSBOs. There is a FSBO site online that will show you houses that are for sale by owner. A lot of people put them on certain sites, on some of those home sale sites. Expired listings. That's where you're up against some sharks in the pool of real estate because there are agents who that's their business. The minute they see a listing expired on MLS, they hit them hard. They hit them with a packet, they hit them with phone calls. Chris Elliott's team, he does a lot of expires. He's really good at it. If you have a listing and it's about to expire, you want to let your agents know. I mean, you let your clients know, hey, we're about to expire. Do you want to go ahead and withdraw it from the market? Let's give it a rest, and let's re-sign and get this back on. You want to make sure you kind of keep that going. If not, you want to let them know the minute it goes expired, they're going to get contacted by a lot of different agents. So but that is a game you can definitely get into as an agent, where you can look at expired listings. And my opinion is we want to always play nice in the sandbox. So you want to, I would reach out to the agent who has that listing first and just say, hey, I see your listing's about to come up expired. Have you re-signed? Or is this a house that you're no longer going to represent? I would do that. Because I just feel like if you just go after it, you don't know what toes you're stepping on or how people respond to that, but it is a definite angle of gaining business, because it will become open to the market, of real estate, realtors. Circle prospecting. Neighborhoods, apartment complexes, recently sold listings, recently listed properties. That's just basically working, your area, working what you feel is going to bring you business. Apartment complexes, they don't want you to solicit, but you could do mailers to apartment complexes. You could see if you could do an event at an apartment complex. Some apartment complexes do events, host or sponsor something, a coffee for them, donuts in the morning, depending on what apartment it is. But I would say that the higher end apartments, think about this. People are paying $2,000 a month for a one, maybe two, but probably a 1-bedroom in Scott's Addition, swanky, nice stuff. But those people could pay a mortgage at $2,000 a month and have a $350,000 house, So those types of, that kind of prospecting is good. And if you happen to live in one of those communities, that's your perfect opportunity to be a neighbor and host something as a neighbor. Recently sold listings.
How does that capturing prospects?
But
So is that recently sold listing, what do you do to reach out to people with that? I'm kind of.
well, I don't really know what they're meaning right there, but I would say just houses that have sold in an area, it gives you an opportunity to prospect that surrounding area and say, hey, a house just sold for this. You should consider, are you interested in putting your house on the market? A house down the street just sold for $570,000, and I see that you bought your house. You can look that house up. You bought that house for $350,000 just like 4 years ago, and this one sold for 500. Are you interested in a market analysis of your house? See what your house is worth. That's a prospecting. Recently listed properties, same thing. There's a listing in the neighborhood. That listing agent, if they're doing their job, they're going to be prospecting that whole area. But you can also look up that listing, see what it is, prospect that area. Like you have a house for sale down the street, that's on the market, and a lot of times it just went pending in 3 days. That's a great opportunity. That house just went pending at this price. So and that's just also following the market, following the MLS and seeing what's happening and paying attention to your neighborhood. If you live in a neighborhood where you see houses have sold or houses that are just on the market, learn about that house, find out how much it's worth, look at the photos, so you see what condition it's in. And then you can start prospecting other business. Community outreach, always a great way to put your face out in front of people. I know this always feels, well, I'll say for myself, having community outreach Our purpose of that should be to literally reach the community and outreach to them to help the community. That should be your number one goal. The outcome of that will put your face in front of your community in a place of contribution. That's a positive thing. Those are all positive things. Doing it for the purpose of getting business and that being your motive will put you in the wrong headspace for that. That's just me ethically and morally looking at that. But the results of going to or having a community event, raising money for a charity, doing something for your community, the result of that will bring you business because people will go, oh, I remember that real estate agent came to our community and like worked a soup line or brought her friends there and did that. And I really like that. I like that person. I learned about it. That's the result you want. But just remember, the intention of the community outreach should be purely community. That's not a preaching moment. It's a slippery slope. And we all want to contribute to our community in some way, right? There's an agent in DC, Sheena Saidam. Have any of you ever been to one of her classes? She is a rock star. She's got a huge business up in Washington, DC, in that area. She's come down here and taught a few classes, but she's a pretty incredible human. She built her business on giving to communities. She every house she sells and her team, she's got a huge team, they give a percentage to a certain cause.
Is
And
this
her-
young lady in Northern Virginia?
She's in Northern Virginia, DC,
Salem?
Salem. Yeah, she knows that. You should follow her on all the socials. Pretty cool. Now, she does share a lot of her personal political views and all that, which I respect her. I like her. I know her personally, but she's someone who has built her business on the whole idea of sharing her wealth with people who need it. She's built it, she's done stuff over in foreign countries, like overseas. She's done things to help communities of great need. She's done things within the homeless community. She started her whole beginning campaign was creating showers for the homeless, street showers that people could use. And it just really kind of exponentially grew from there. And so every time she does a sale, there's a certain amount that comes from that sale that goes to some type of cause. Some people would look at it as, oh, it's a little bit of exploitation. It's really not because of where her intentions lie. She's pretty true to herself as someone who wants to give back. And by having the amount of wealth that she's created, she's able to give more. So that's kind of the way we want to look at community outreach. That would be my. Oh, S-A-Y-D-E-M. Is it D-E-M?
E-A-M.
D-A-M. And I'm not sure how to say that. Sadam? Sheena Sadam. Cool girl. And she'll come back again, hopefully, to do another class. She's taught at Mega Camp. She's taught at Family Reunion. I mean, she's quite the successful agent. Volunteer work is always a great way to get your name and face out there. Wear your name tag. You volunteer. There's nothing wrong with wearing your name tag. It's a passive way to say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Key relationships. Build those relationships with corporations, and not just big corporations. It can be small mom and pop shops. You know, your local coffee shop, great place to build a relationship. Maybe say, hey, I'm going to have an open house down the street. If you like, would you like to provide coupons and I'll put them out to bring business to you, or want to help sponsor coffee and I can help promote your business. Like those kind of partnerships, always helpful. Getting to know builders, go to new construction and meet people that are working those new construction areas and see if there's other agents working. Some of them don't have agents, real estate agents that sell, they just have salespeople that sell. But you can build a relationship with that builders, not working for them, but just knowing their product and getting to know what they have and then letting them know that you would love to help sell some of their houses. Banks, always good to meet mortgage brokers, always good to meet bankers. Let them take you for coffee to tell them that they want to work with you and build those partnerships and learn about them. Third-party data companies, I'm not sure what that's all about, but if you can just take that one. I don't know. Investors, if you want to get into the game of helping people invest in homes, that's a whole different world of real estate, but that's also part of what your business can be. Meeting someone who's interested, you're working with an investor right now. So how did you meet that investor?
Through another real estate agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now do you
They,
have to share a referral with them or?
Well, she had worked with them for 2 years and only bought one house. And she was kind of tired of it. So she slowly transitioned them over to me and
Okay.
I've been working with them ever since.
So the good thing about an investor that you have to remember, if you get an investor who wants to buy a fixer upper and they want to flip, it may be $150,000 house. It's gonna be a low commission. But it's still something, but guess what? You stay with that guy, he's gonna renovate that house and then you sell that house. And that house might sell for 350,000. So having an investor, you can get that business on both sides. And then if you can become their real estate partner, and that's what they do. But you wanna vet them, you wanna make sure you vet them, so, because you're gonna get hit up by Miguel, anybody got hit up by Miguel? Okay, Miguel, once he finds out that you're out there doing real estate, he is gonna be texting you, so. We all laughed, because the other day in the room, everybody was like, did you hear from Miguel today? We're like, yes. There are some that are legit, there's this guy Jared, if you ever hear from Jared, he actually, I did a deal across the table with him. One of my realtor friends who was here, and she went with a different brokerage, she bought a fixer-upper that I was selling for, it was an estate. And, he was the investor. And they flipped that house and it's beautiful. So he did good work. And she's got the listing now. And he's hit me up a lot too. So he's not exclusively with her. And sometimes they will share that, but investors are always that's a good area to explore. Teaching and speaking opportunities, if you feel confident to talk real estate with a group of people, it's always good to think about a target audience. Senior homes, people that want to sell their house and move into a retired community. That is becoming more and more common. That's probably gonna be like they say the average age of a person buying a house now is like 56 or something. It's kind of crazy. It's up there. And the majority of the real estate is being sold bought and sold by that older demographic. And they're cash, a lot of them are cash. So always good to get in that circle. But even speaking at a community event or a business that might need speakers for something, just put yourself out there. Door-to-door canvassing. Just have someone with you. I would say always have a partner with you. And not to be sexist at all, but females, I would say just have someone with you to feel more safe and comfortable. I think there's always more safety in numbers. And just use your mind. Some of you are probably comfortable going, you door knock, right? You just want to be aware that there's always safety things you want to think about. When you knock on someone's door, if they said no soliciting on the door or no trespassing, don't knock on that door. Just pay attention. Door knocking can be very, very positive outcome. Have you had good experience with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes, when I go to some house that I am not familiar with, or even at showing a house, and I'm not really comfortable, either it's the time of day, or I just don't know the neighborhood, or I have my husband go with me and sit in the car. I just feel a little more comfortable having someone there that's just right there, so I can just speed dial, and like,
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
I have a house like that, right, like, brought the hotspot, and just that road to her with me.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes share your location, share where you're going with someone, so they know where you are. And we do a whole class on safety.
I was just gonna actually, I do want to do door knocking, but the safety aspect of it just terrifies me, so.
Yeah, and I think just know the neighbor, like, learn the neighborhood, learn the area. There are areas I would say for myself, I would not be comfortable door knocking. But other areas I'd be more comfortable, and it doesn't necessarily mean economic or racial or any of that stuff. It means more of like my familiarity. If I am not familiar, I am not as comfortable. I was not familiar with the area I just moved into, and I wasn't comfortable until I like frequented it a lot. I drove around a lot. It's like, okay, there's a sleepy, quiet neighborhood. We had some activity, you know, some excitement. Not gonna lie. I won't share what it is. We go out, but I'm okay. Twice in 6 months, but that's okay. But I don't know if door knocking my name. I'm not yet. But yeah, just really, I would say do your research, make sure you are comfortable, and then canvassing is really, it is a good thing for real estate agents. It's some, and I don't think a lot do it. I think they say they do, but I don't know. Networking events, always a great way to meet people. There are all kinds of networking events. Google Meet, have y'all ever gone into Google Meet? There's a meetup place you can find different groups that people meet because they love, they love quilting, they love fish, they love, I mean, people meet up for all kinds of reasons. I mean, there's all kinds of engagement opportunities. Booths and kiosks, and then walk-ins. These are all just stuff that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Doing both. Farming is kind of considered both. Geographic and demographic. So you could do geographic farming. You could farm your neighborhood. That would be a geographic farming. Demographic, farming a senior living area. A demographic farming would be farming houses that you think will all fall under USDA or VA loans, a veteran heavy community. Geographic also, if you feel like you've sold a couple houses in, say, I'll just use an example, neighborhood, Tarrington. Tarrington's out there off Robius. There's Tarrington, Salisbury, James River West, all those neighborhoods. If you've sold a few houses over there, farm that area. So just kind of be mindful in your farming, so it's not just random. You can do it by zip code, you can do it by neighborhood, you can do it through KW Command. There are ways to farm through Command that actually they do it all for you. You just pay a fee and they mail it, they print it, they do all of it. Events, open houses. As new agents, you gotta try and grab every opportunity to host an open house. You're gonna get business from that. It will happen if you do enough. It's all in numbers. Seminars. Seminars, I kind of have a mixed feeling about seminars. You want to be really intentional with your seminar. You want to make it interactive and fun and engaging. People aren't going to want to come and just sit and listen to a mortgage guy talk about numbers and be boring. You want to make sure it's something that involves either food or, you know, some kind of a social. I mean, you can always do a seminar even in a brewery, you know, find a little corner of the brewery and like have someone there to answer questions. Something like that. Contests are fun. You can do, like, you could always have some kind of a raffle or something in an open house. You can cross these over. A contest of like social media, something on social media. Client appreciation events. Once you have built your clientele, you can always do an event to invite your clientele or your VIPs, your people closest to you in your sphere. Have some kind of event, and your events can be really, really low cost. It could be literally a potluck. You could have everybody join you at a picnic and have a potluck and invite someone there that can be of value. And then networking. You want to network your sphere, start from the center. I always think of it as like, you know, those earthquake models where the epicenter's here and then you've got the waves that go out like that. I think that epicenter is your sphere. That's your core sphere. Start there. And then as you start there, it will start, you can start kind of working your way out. As clients would be right outside of that core sphere. Allied resources and agents, you want to always stay in good graces with agents, stay in good connection with agents. It's always, I always look at agents that I work with and deal as my partner. I'm working with an agent right now who he's hot and cold. He's partner 1 minute and he's mad at me the next. He's screaming at me through text with all caps and exclamation points. But then I've tried to stay calm and be like, we're gonna get to the end of this. We're gonna get to a win for both of our clients. I try to always refer to their client. We want to get this for your client as well as mine. And it brings them back. So just I think being the calm in that relationship is gonna serve you. Because you are gonna run across all kinds of personalities. Purchased, that means you're paying for leads. Referral networks, advertising networks, clientele, buying leads. I would say don't do that until you feel like your business is in a place financially where you can work from these other sources first. Any ahas? Anything that hits you?
A lot more work than you think to build.
It is a lot of work.
It's very important.
It is a lot of work. And I will say with that, Brian, and I will say that to all of you, you're gonna have wins, you're gonna have loses. But look at everything as forward moving, fail forward, win forward. All works the same. Because that's what's gonna get you where you need to be. And KW is so good at circling us back to that. I too, as an agent, when something goes wrong or I lose a client or things fall through, it just makes you want to just, well, I mean, I'll be honest, makes you want to throw up. Especially when your bank account needs it badly, your life needs it. But as much as it beats you up, just know there is another client there. There's something else there. There's another opportunity there. Just keeping the ball rolling. The minute the ball stops, nothing's gonna happen, right?
When you said farming geographically, or if you sold in a neighborhood, what do you mean by that?
Okay. So farming would be like reaching out to that area, either by, you can do it with a newsletter, you can do it with a brochure, like a flyer or a postcard. You can do it with phone calls, but working that area, this is so squeaky. Working that area is farming it. It's kind of zeroing in on an area and like planting seeds. Think of it like a farm. You're planting all your seeds.
Oh,
And then they're gonna come to you. Have y'all gotten postcards from the same agent like every 3 months or so? You ever notice that? I don't notice it much now where I live, but I lived in Churchill for 5 years. And in Churchill, I was constantly getting this big postcard from this one agent. And it wasn't engaging enough for me to go, "Oh, hang on to that." It was just more like, oh, it's another one, you know. But they were farming that area. And yeah, there are different ways to do it, but geographically, you're choosing your farm based on where you would want to do your business. They always say, if you live in a certain area, even if it looks like there's some agent that dominates that area, don't be afraid of that. If that's your neighborhood, you know those people. You get out there and let them know that you're an agent and farm it. And if you want to farm, if you really want to go for a higher price point, farm those higher price point neighborhoods. You know, you gotta have a plan in place, but you know, farm those neighborhoods. Demographically, you can choose to farm, I would say that's kind of farming a economic demographic, like farming higher price points. Age, like seniors or maybe starter homes, that you know they're gonna wanna move into like someplace where there's a lot of ranchers, or, you know, you can kind of base it on the information you have. For that area. But yeah, that's what that means. Anything else? Anybody?
What is they, from all the information, to piggyback on what he mentioned, build your structure. Or at least your daily structure, your week structure, your month structure. So you keep up with everything, and have a plan in place.
Yes, having a plan in place, very important. Just know that, you know, you can go about your business each day, kind of like playing a ping pong game, like, you know, I'm just gonna throw myself out there and who knows where the ball's gonna fly, but we're gonna go for it. Or set up your plan of like, okay, I have a goal. That's why the 411 is so important. The 411 structures out your month. It keeps it in a short-term plan. So because those plans change, things change as your business grows, as it changes. So doing your 411 is going to give you that structure of like, okay, well, these are the tasks I need to do this week in order to get my one appointment I want for that week. And in order to get the potential buyer agreement by the end of the month, or the, you know, so having it laid out in a 411 is really important. Okay.
The goal one in command, or
411, Patrice will send it to each month. I have some in my office, but you can get it electronically. And I'm happy to grab one for you. I'll print one, I don't know if I have one right away, but it's a layout of, it's pretty much kind of a layout of time block. Like what your goal is for the month, and then you go, what you're gonna do. That is not your 411. But I can share that with you. You know, I can share one with you, but yeah, good question. And as new agents, once we get rolled back into PC, it's something that we ask for each month that you fill out, and it gives you accountability. Kind of, you're telling us this is what you're gonna do, and once you tell someone you're gonna do something, don't you do it more likely than if you don't tell someone? That's kind of how that works.
She has it as a file on her page, on the, Patrice, Facebook. She has it attached to it.
Yeah. If you've gotten an introduction email as well from Patrice, you may want to go back and,
I have it.
you have it, okay, well, we'll get you all that. 411 is a great way to kind of lay out that plan. The other bigger picture one is called a GPS, and that's goals, priorities and strategies. So you set a goal, you list your priorities for that goal. But this priority, I need to make this goal, this priority, and then the strategy of how you're gonna reach that priority. It's a pretty cool system. Like I say, I am this creative brain, and I have a hard time going, you know, I go like, okay, I need a piece of paper, I need to sit down and think this through, and then once I have that, I'm like, oh, that looks good. Now I'm trying to operate that way. Goal line of referrals. Client referrals. Y'all, referrals are real. I am right now working most of my business off referrals. Thank goodness. Because I have things I need to do to set up my systems a little stronger. I'm gonna full disclosure. I am not a systematic person, but I know that's my weakness, and that's something I'm gonna really work on this year. When we do our business planning, that's gonna be a forefront of my business planning. But referrals has saved me, because once you meet someone or you know someone, you want to be that real estate agent in their mind. If it's a business owner, just have your cards at their office and ask them if they'll send business to you. If they're a family member, they should be referring to you. If there's someone that you work with in another job, ask them to refer business to you. Do you think that they're going to refer business to you if you don't ask? Likely not. And that, it may feel uncomfortable to ask for that, but there's nothing wrong with that. Always provide value. And in providing value, and that's a very important piece of this. if we don't provide value, why would anyone want to refer us? Right? There's 6,000 real estate agents in this region, in this MLS. It's a high number. Now, there's some that are not doing any business. And I just got some crazy statistic that it's like 90% of agents are only doing one deal a year, and like the 10% are doing like all the rest of the business. It's something crazy. It is that crazy. I was shocked. I was like, wow. And if you do 10 to 15 a year, you're in a very elite percentage of real estate. And 10 to 15 is where we, a lot of agents in this brokerage are doing that or more. So you're among a lot of really strong real estate agents, and you're gonna be one of those. That's gonna be you. But you have to provide value, and that's what KW does to me better than anyone that I can see. Share your KW app. That KW app is so cool because you share it with someone, then you let them know this is going to give you the same amount of information that Zillow gives you. It's sharing the MLS information with you. But the wonderful thing about it is because I can now serve you better by knowing what you like and what you don't like. It gives you an opportunity to put a heart on something you like, and then I get noticed. And I'm like, oh, they like that house. And it just makes it so much nicer. So we don't have to constantly be asking, well, did you see this house or that house? You still want to do that for them, but the value of the KW app is to give them the freedom to search. Because that's what people do now, right? People can go on the apps and look for their own house. So that value is not there anymore. That used to be the value before we had Zillow and Homes.com. So KW got smart and they were like, we're gonna create our own. And we're gonna make it so that people out there that are on Zillow, if they're your client, they're gonna be on your app. So the beauty of that app is it's got your name on it. And then they're connected to your command. And I have a friend on my KW app who isn't really actively looking for a house right now. But I noticed she was on my KW app because I got a notification on command. I'm like, and then I noticed she was looking at some houses. Now, I'm not gonna bug her, but I'm gonna pay attention to see what she's looking at and the price point and all that. Another person that I met at an open house, they're not wanting to buy in Richmond right now. They decided to stay in New York, but she was on the app and she was looking for a house again. So I was like, well, I'm gonna reach out to her. So I reached out, hey, I see that you were looking in Richmond again. Have y'all changed your mind? Are you thinking about coming to Richmond? It gave me an opportunity to have a conversation. She says, oh, no, we just rented in Brooklyn, but we're definitely looking when the rates come down, we may consider. Oh, so then that app kind of created that connection and brought me back in front of her. So that's super important. Share market statistics. Like I said, learn your stuff and then share it with the people you know. Provide vendor lists. If you have a vendor list, if you know a plumber that you know for sure who's gonna come in and do a great job and not charge them a fortune, put them on your vendor list. Yes, James.
I have a question. When someone is looking at your app, and you said initially you didn't reach out. What's time to your lot so there's not, because sometimes we just want to lose private and I feel like stuff. What's a good idea of timeframe you think is reasonable? If at all.
If it's active, if they haven't been active and they're back active again, I would reach out right away. But I wouldn't say, hey, are you looking to buy a house now? I would say, oh, I saw that you looked at that house on blah, blah, blah street. What a cute house. I love it. Are you just browsing for fun or, just find out what they're doing?
Yeah.
Now, the reason I didn't reach out to that person, she's my best friend and I talk to her every day. So I basically know where she is between the house. But yes, I would use it as an
Is
opportunity.
a text for an initial contact as an observation?
Depends on who it is, but you can. I would do a text just to check in.
And I'm really trying to recondition my mind by thinking it's off. I see it's less intrusive. And I almost see it as communicating via a social media platform.
Well, it means you're paying attention.
It may not want to engage in a verbal conversation, but me acknowledging.
Yeah.
that,
It just, yeah, and it means you're paying attention to the app, so it's working. And, you know, and you can confirm by saying, isn't it cool that you can like search houses and, just keep, you know, just let me know when you're ready to actually look, and I'll be happy to, you know, schedule some showings. Just a chance to have that engagement. That's a good question, though. Thank you for asking. The vendor list, Melissa Akline has created a vendor list that's really cool. She gave me a copy of it, and it's really all branded. And she's got her list of vendors, and we're talking roofer, plumber, electrician, house, power washing, inspection team that can come out and do mold mitigation, or, you know, all these different vendors that are of value to homeowners. Always good to have.
She has
You
it
know-
actually in the back.
Hmm?
It's actually in the back.
Oh, okay.
And that-
And you don't have to go to that level yet, but having those people, and you're not gonna have a lot of them yet, because you haven't had to use them. But if you have them personally that you already, like, there's a house cleaning business that cleaned a listing that I co-listed with someone, and I had never used them before. They were so good, and I felt like they were very fair. I've used them every time now. And I've gotten 2 free cleans from my own place because I use them so much, and I really like them and I trust them, and they're good. And so having that person, that comes up a lot. That, you know, I prefer this guy who hauls stuff off for people to probably 20 people. And he does a great job, and he's very, very affordable, and he's a one-man show, but he's really good. So yeah, having a mover, someone you feel like is affordable, or someone you like or trust. Ask for referrals. You're never gonna get a referral unless you ask. And that means, say James. So James, you and I have been friends for what, 20 years? So I'm in this business now, real estate, you know that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So James, I would love the opportunity to help somebody, you know, because, you know, I'm still building my business. You know anybody that's buying a house, or would you be interested in helping me? Sure. Oh, that'd be great, that'd be great. Well, can I give you some cards? Do you mind? I mean, I'll just give you a couple cards.
Yeah, that's fine.
That'd be awesome, because, you know how hard it is to get business sometimes, and I'll be happy to send business to you too.
Right.
Yeah, so, you're still in the business of, mechanic, you're still. a
Yeah, I
mechanic?
still decide.
Awesome. Hey, I might need my car fixed or something.
Yeah,
Like, there you
something
go.
like that.
Like just
Yeah.
kind of having that type of engagement.
See, I did that with my first client, and then it got out of my brain somehow.
Yeah.
All trained in the brain, right?
It is, and it's just kind of always trying to pull whatever's back there into the front. When you're, you know, just wear that real estate hat.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure,
I had a really bad deal that we ended up closed on.
okay. But
We
it ended up closing.
we
next
ended up
week.
closing because they had to close, or it's gonna cost them a lot of money.
Right.
So would you, when do you know, I mean, if you have a bad client, would you still ask for it?
Okay,
Or,
you're asking me, a real estate agent, who had a bad client. My first client was a monster. It was, he took us. I'm not gonna say anymore, but,
Right.
and it was another KWH on the other side. We were like sweating it out. This guy was Mr. CEO. Knew how to do all this. Was my first client. He was the most intimidating human on the planet. But we got close. He made a point that he was gonna take us all down, you know. But it didn't work. It happened, because there was really nothing to stand on, but I learned some things through that. I learned a lot. I learned some things that it had a lot to do with, information about the house and disclosures and information not being completely validated. And, what's the word? Can't think of what the word is. Just always, don't ever just say a number or say something that you don't know. Get your facts straight. AC, know what year that AC was installed. Don't second guess. Don't second guess something else, you know, verify, that's a word. verify, 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 verify. And it even says it in the MLS, and it says it on the inspection report, that not, and you know, information is not verified. Yeah. So, verify means in paper,
Yeah.
but my answer to that question is, if you feel like that client is someone who they were not nice to you, who had a really hard time, I would use the rules.
Well, one half was very happy, and the other half wasn't very happy.
I mean, you can do passive things. I did some passive things. The wife was really fairly nice to me, but the husband was a monster, like I said.
That's the same case, Ken.
Yeah. I still did pop bys and took them a few things. I gave them a really nice closing gift. I mean, it was a good house, a great deal. It's a great deal in Harper's Mill, beautiful. But he just showed me flex his muscle, you know. Made clear that KW was not a company he's blah, 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 blah. So I'm not gonna pursue him, and I haven't really, but I did do a few things where I pop by, send them cards. I still have them on my list of sending a card saying Happy Thanksgiving or, you know, that sort of thing.
So, like, follow up on their 1 year house anniversary. Just send them
Yeah.
a card that says,
I would,
checking on you.
because you wanna do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
And we wanna follow that idea of like, we wanna use integrity. That's something with integrity. But as far as expecting the business out of them, I wouldn't worry about that. You can do it that way. But yeah, every once in a while, you're gonna get a client and hopefully only one in your career that will just do everything in their power to make it almost impossible to tear you down. And the way I see it is, if they're not gonna treat you the way you expect to be treated, then sometimes you don't wanna spend that energy on that client, because they're not gonna give you what you need back. And
Right.
that doesn't mean don't pay, don't be nice to them or whatever, but put your energy somewhere else. Put that energy on another person, double down on the other person that will bring you tenfold.
Yeah, I'd work with her again in a minute, but him,
So that was reported on by. I mean, I'm being honest, it's just sometimes you're going to run across deals where you get to the end table, but it was, with someone who, if you were gonna do it again, and they treat you that way, you'd fire them. You'd probably want to fire them, because it's not always a perfect match. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but if they don't treat you right, you've got to also hold yourself to a high standard of what, I deserve better. But yes, ask for referrals, and that doesn't mean just business, like clients, that means friends, that means business owners, people that if they like you, hopefully they'll refer to you. And you also want them to know that you're good at what you do. Like if you've had some good success, that's why we put it out on social media. That's why we scream from the rooftops. I just closed a deal. I closed 5 deals last month. I closed it, let people know that, because then they'll go, wow, she's really doing a great business. Then they'll be like, oh, I want to refer my friend to her because she's doing such good business, not because I just like her or she's been my friend for 20 years, just because she's doing good business. Reward your referrals. Send a thank you card if someone refers you. Send them a gift card. Let them know how important that is to you. I will tell you, my daughter's referred me to 3 people, and I've thrown her a little money at the end. I'm like, here you go. And she doesn't expect it. Now, her husband, her new husband, they got married a month ago. I got another one this weekend. My son's getting married on Saturday. And I don't know. Put me through the ringer, man. I swear. I'm like, a little wound up right now. But Allie's new husband has a barbershop, very popular high-end barbershop. Seth Shermore is one of his clients. Does a great job. He runs the barbershop. And I was like, give them refer me. I mean, that feels like really gross. Like, oh. But he goes, hey, bring cards. I got so many people that I meet that are looking to buy a house. I'm like, okay. So he's only referred me to 2 people. Like, okay, come on. Yeah. I know. So, I mean, you really don't shy away from referrals, and they will work for you. Handwritten notes, do any of y'all get handwritten notes in the mail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't.
I got one yesterday from a window I worked with and it surprised me.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Kinda nice, yeah.
I mean, the thought of writing a letter, like, I don't know, it's a nice touch. My handwriting sucks too.
I'm like,
But
"Oh,
use printing and make it, short and sweet. ChatGPT helps a lot. I use it a lot now. I mean, don't just verbatim, but like it will help you bring something into the shortest possible place. Agent to agent referrals, super important to have those relationships building. The agent to agent, now, Brian and I had a discussion about agent to agent referrals, and I'm gonna answer it because now I know the answer. Agent, you can refer across brokerages. You don't host open houses for other brokerages. You don't show a property for other agents and other brokerages, but you can refer across brokerage line. KW referrals are really great to build because KW has this giant network. You can refer a friend that lives in Nebraska to a KW agent out there because they're a friend of yours and they don't know who to go to. You can say, hey, I've got an agent I can send you to. Then you get a referral fee from that agent. They would pay you 20 to 30% you would ask for. If you have an agent friend in Roanoke, but she's with EXP. She's with EXP, but she's your best friend from high school. And you have a friend moving to Roanoke and you don't, I mean, I would seek out a KW agent first. But if your friend is like, hey, can you refer that friend to me? I would love that. You can do that, and then they would pay you a referral fee. But if you have a friend moving to Roanoke and they still want to use you as their agent because you're licensed in Virginia, you just have to like figure that out. But you don't want to show, you can't show them a property. You can't reach out to your EXP friend and have them show the property. You have to go to a KW agent there and have them show you the property. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
in absence of having established a network of KW agents across the country. What is the best way to zero in to ensure that you're getting the right agent or referral partner that provides the service that you would want? So they can have a great experience.
That's a good question. I would, well, this is a words from Patrice. Patrice, if there's, say, someone moving to LA or someone moving to Sacramento. And there's three KW brokerages there. Well, you want to find one that has good numbers. Do some research on what their numbers look like in that area. That's all information you can access on command. And then I would actually reach out to their brokerage and just say, I'm looking for a referral partner for this XYZ. Sure. And they may be able to tell you an agent there that it's that person, and maybe ask for two that you can talk to, 2 or 3, and interview them. I did this in Florida with a couple agents, and I was told one name, and they said, oh, she's great, whatever, and then I was told another name. And I was the one that they said she's great. I didn't find a good connection with that person. It felt like it was very awkward talking to that person, the way they operated, it didn't feel like me. So I didn't want to refer them to that person. So I talked to the other person. I felt more like, oh, that's a better fit. And I knew the person I was referring to, this is a friend of mine who needed the referral. So I thought, this person might do better with this. It ended up falling through. It didn't really happen. But yes, do a little bit of vetting on your own.
Yeah, just.
And learn the market centers, like if it's a market center, say in Indianapolis, there's a market center out in Carmel. Well, my son lives in Carmel, so if I was gonna refer him to a KW agent, I would probably go to that market center in Carmel than I would go to someplace here, I don't know, they have NASCAR down there. Indy 500. Yeah, so agent referrals, good way to make another stream of income is to build those referrals. Good way to build that network is go to family reunion and meet agents. That's where you meet them, make it clear. It's expensive. I would let your business have get a few deals. I committed one deal to pay for family reunion last year, 2 years ago. And I'm really glad I did. I just took that commission and I paid for family reunion. But I learned a heck of a lot at family reunion and I met some agents. The value's there, but don't do it when you don't have the income. Make sure you can like have the money to do that. Because that is something that is very costly. Just, you wanna maintain your relationships, you wanna grow your relationships, and then you wanna manage them. And there's a way to do that on command. Under referrals, you can start to meet people through command, reach out to agents on command. Just your referral network worldwide. Business to business referrals. We all know, you can get businesses to help refer you. Okay, I'm gonna skip through this. We gotta move a little bit quicker. Geographic farming, a collection of homes, a neighborhood that an agent chooses to focus on the marketing and prospecting efforts. So that's just choosing an area. We've already talked a little bit about that. Events and seminars, these are all. Yes. Okay, so this is where we're gonna take a break. I don't think I'm on this, but if you wanna go on the app and about, this first round, we're gonna do a second session. So let's get back here. I'll give you a little bit of time because we haven't had any potty breaks. Let's get back here at 10:45. That gives you about 7 minutes. Okay, make your phone calls, do what you need to do. Questions, James? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, this was a really bad case. I mean, as of the night before, we weren't closing 7:30 the night before. And there was a divorce that was getting started in the middle of the process of buying a house. One person wanted it, one person didn't. It was just uncomfortable.
It can do that. I had one fall out at closing day.
I mean, and
But it came back together the next day, next Monday.
we got them a good deal. I mean, they paid full price for the house, but they negotiated for all the entire hardwood floors to be refinished, new countertops being paid for by the sellers. All kinds of stuff.
Betty, what's the family reunion cost, all in,
Oh,
outings, registration,
well,
hotel, whatever.
there was an early bird, but I don't think it's good. I don't know
But
what it is.
I'm talking inclusive of registration.
Well,
You said total cost for 10 family.
I mean, you have to pay for your own hotel,
Correct.
so that's a variable.
So registration is not even inclusive of the hotel,
Mhm.
correct?
So
that's
what you get in that registration is you get all the classes. There's special stickers, like really great like big headline stickers. I had to get my own breakfast, lunch and dinner. But we did have some mixers that were hosted by Vesta did one, Atlantic Mortgage did one, the KW Alliance Group did one. So they have heavy outdoors.
I guess
so I-
in planning for, it. I just wanted to know,
Yeah.
as a realtor, when you came back, did you look at your total expense?
Yeah, yeah, I would say,
And it has to be just a guess.
I'm trying to guess, because I had to fly. So airline, motel, I would say $2,000,
Oh, really?
about $2,000 for family reunion.
So what is it?
There's another, I did the early bird, so I got it for $899.
Oh, whatever cost. What it is,
Well, the early bird now is,
This is a lot. Thanks. You said you were.
I
was trying to be quiet, that's the last.
But I would say, yeah, it was Vegas, so that was there.
Yeah.
I heard 2,000 was.
Not 2,000. I mean, my hotel.
Good.
I stayed at extra night.
So you are.
And then I just thought it was.
You had found your own hotel.
Well, they have a hotel for the convention center. And they have some Justin hotels, like I stayed in the, it's Luxembourg, which was a good city. If it's someone who works in, I'm telling you, it kicked my tail.
Walking, right?
I walked 7 miles a day,
See, that's-
and I was like, whew,
It's a huge.
I mean, it's a huge place. And yeah, and I think at the end of it, honestly, I really enjoy Vegas for a day, just by myself, but I was like, I don't enjoy this. So I really could walk down to county stores and could live. I got to Malaysia like that. I was living in Florida, which I lived in Florida. I had to sit, I had nothing. So,
Yeah.
But I did tell myself, I said, Beatles,
Did you?
research was always, I pulled myself together, like, oh my God.
Magic Hammers.
Yeah, waste of money.
Entertainment and all that.
Yeah, now it's gonna be in Atlanta.
Let me see, but it's not much, so-
But volume?
Yeah, I mean, if you,
I'm not going till I'm like producing. Like you said, I don't spend money now making.
I didn't go my first year. I went the second year and I allotted, I sold the house in Mechanicsville that I knew that was gonna be. It's a house, sure. So, I took that and paid for the airline ticket, the hotel.
I really.
And then, just try not to spend too much, you know, I had to buy lunch every day. So it was tricky there because they didn't have a lot of. It was just the lines were so long, they didn't really have that thing about the. Breakfast was, it was just, I went to Trader Joe's. Because I had a friend who was there, so they took me up there.
Girl,
I sucked the house.
it's good.
Bars and advice.
I was thinking of farm stock. I forgot to go.
Just to have staff and things, and it was really helpful. But it was good. Now that I've done it once. Now I know, I could use it, I mean, Patrice tried to coach me a little bit on what to focus on and how to network, but networking is overwhelming.
Yeah.
You have to really kind of figure out how to do it. There's so many agents there, they're all there for this, all this. We're talking 25.
Is that when you were there?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's about it.
I'm sure.
I think a lot of people are.
Where is it?
It's in Atlanta. Boy. Which I'm so glad, they did Vegas 2 years ago, that's why I didn't go last year.
We're gonna see Vegas.
Yeah, all this time, it's in Vegas.
I hear some over.
Didn't really do much for this time, I'm like, oh, it's so over. And they've redone the whole power strip, you can't even walk the strip.
Really?
If you do these walk, yeah, they've got barricades on the strip. I guess.
Oh, well, yeah, I was thinking one of the places, so, yeah, New York is roller coaster.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I did ride it at night, it was great.
Oh, my kids love it. They were teenagers, so that's all about.
Yeah.
Riding roller coaster and playing.
The bus days and stuff were pretty good, though. But,
Yeah, yeah, but let's see what's nice.
I heard it was supposed to happen.
I don't think so.
They said it's because they want to.
They want to meet out. Oh, yeah. Definitely, I would go to Vegas. I would know, we're going this one, but I don't think I was not.
Airport, trying to, yeah. It's all-
Going right, yeah.
Tuesday night, the other one, well,
LD. Alright, get this next thing going.
she said the ice heater was hilarious. So Ron, how long have you been with us?
How long have I been with,
Okay, that TV song.
like 3 months?
You know, have you been a realtor before? You sound pretty comfortable.
I was like, realtor assistant, like realtor coordinator.
What is ISA stand?
Inside sales agent.
Ah, okay, good deal. So what?
And it's under Keller Williams, Empower Home. Have you heard of Empower Home?
The people here?
So they're a team with Empower, with Kenobi, but they're kind of like in their own thing. Joni is the team.
Yeah, you work with them,
I did work with them, yes.
good for you.
Now
So
I'm part of,
you learn some things, right?
yeah, it's like, I know the terms in the industry. That's really much, about it.
Prior to working with them, what were you before?
I was, what was I doing? I was in sales for the most part, honestly. I did car sales before that, with CarMax. So a lot of
I'm glad you told me that, don't hide that.
customer service roles. That's.
So you still know the insides of making a good purchase, like.
For a car? Sure.
Is CarMax really not? Like,
Big deal.
Oh, you're fine.
pretty good?
It's price it and then it's like.
How many people have this book?
I have it
Yeah, I do.
and I need to read it.
That's true, yeah, I have it too, but.
Yeah, finding time to read it.
I have to read it in order.
No. Okay.
There's a lot of good. Thank you. There's, talking about structure, this book really lays out the structure.
Yeah, no, it's.
And, they have a whole section. 136. On prospect and market.
Oh, and Peggy. I'm gonna leave in like 45 minutes, so I'm gonna leave for the early 14 meeting.
Okay.
Like to leave early, but.
I will share with y'all something that I learned on one of these, MREA podcasts that I thought was really cool. That I have a goal to try to do this, but I haven't yet. I'll wait till everybody gets back.
Yeah, those chairs are not,
But
those chairs,
the stool,
the
I
stool.
don't do gym.
just squeaky things.
Good.
Situated and now. Look at this over here.
I'll go back to this back, sure.
You got some coffee? Everybody have a nice weekend?
Really?
Got 3 inches of rain in our
In your house or?
house. No, at our house, yeah.
Your house? It rained, yeah, it did rain a lot. I had this repair request negotiation going on. And this guy started with wanting almost $12,000 in repair concessions. After he got the house down $60,000 for the asking price.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's not gonna happen. We finally got ourselves to a point where, I mean, he wanted all this stuff done and I was just over the top and I was like, but I learned from it. I learned, I didn't react right away. I said, okay, so you're telling me you want this, this and this. I said, well, I can tell you, you're starting from a point of full-on rejection. Do we want to start there with our negotiations or do we want to start from a point where they might consider it?
Right.
Do you really want the house? I mean, it was like, these conversations were really tough.
Appreciate it.
And I kept letting him have time to think about it before I actually did anything. But he came up with this long laundry list of things he wanted to do, and he wanted $4,000 in credit. But I'm like, oof. Okay, so I sent it, and I got a very reactionary response from the agent. Like I say, all caps. I was like, and I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna be like, okay. Let's just keep the ball moving. Let's keep moving forward. So I go back to my guy and I'm like, no deal on that. I told you, no deal. It's not gonna happen. So we need to figure out another plan. He goes, I don't care. I'm out. I'm out. I'm like, okay. So then I get a text from the agent says, my client says she will give him $5,000 credit at closing and that's it. No repairs. Okay, so I go back to my guy and I said, this is it. Of course, like, no way. Like, okay. I'll let you sit on this for a minute. I was at BJ's buying all this alcohol for the wedding this weekend. And I get this call. I just don't know what to do, Peggy. I don't know what to do. Can't make a decision. I really want the house, but I really don't know. I'm like, listen, here's the deal. You can crunch numbers all day long. Do you want the house? Do you want the house? Well, yeah, but I said, well, then let's talk about what we can do. Like, this is it. There's no more negotiation on this. This is it. And he was like, well, at this point, it's a no, but I gotta talk to my wife. I'll get back to you. I'm like, it's almost 10 o'clock at night. Like, and it expired Saturday night.
Oh, of course.
We were up against the expiration. I swear, my husband sat there and he goes, call that guy back and tell him you give him $2,000 and help pay for that plumbing. And I'm like, oh. I called him back and Joe, I said, well, here's the deal. Here's what I'm doing. Joe says, listen, dude, we've done this before. It's fine. Peggy's gonna give you this commission. You want this house. I would want this house. Is it? I'm like, you're not even a realtor. And he's laughing. I said, don't listen to him. I said, and then he says, I'll get back to you. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so it got to be 10 o'clock at night. And then the agent was like, I need an answer. I need an answer. And I'm like, I'm there. I'm working on it.
Something I don't have.
The last minute, he says, okay, we're in. We'll do it. I'm like,
You committed? Are you gonna make the settlement?
so I said, are you sure? This is it. He says, yep, write it up. And so, I got a text. I thought for sure I'd get a text this morning. It says, I've changed my mind. And, I got a text that says, we're packing. Get me all the paperwork. And I'm like, oh. But y'all, this guy, this is a number cruncher to the maximum. And, this was a situation. I learned from this too. You know, you're gonna have people out there that are gonna calculate the heck out of something. I look at the square footage and it's blah, 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 the square footage and this and this. And I finally had to say, that is only part of the market value of that house. Your square footage is part of it. What is in the house is part of it, but the location, its location, you're paying for the location. Trust me. And they're like, wow, I know that. I mean, square footage. I'm like, okay.
You're never gonna find a house.
Yeah,
If we keep that up.
I told him that. I said, you keep crunching these numbers, you're talking yourself out of every house. So, yeah, so that was, talk about some negotiation
You were working with fire.
with the buyer.
Okay.
I've been working with this guy for a year, y'all.
Oh, gosh.
I met him in an open house, one of my open houses of a listing. And he has switched his mind on what he needs and wants about 20 times in the process. But this house met his need. It was multi-generational. And in close to Richmond, close to his daughter lives here. In the type of neighborhood he wanted, you know, all of it. Like, I don't know what boxes, what other, you know, yeah, but it's this. I said, yeah, it's an older house. Okay. Said, I wanted a contract across the street for $735,000. You're getting this for $510,000. I mean, it's like, this guy started at 600. He got there.
Wow.
$500 credit. Anyway, so y'all, if y'all ever are up against something like that, just call me. I'll be happy to talk you through it because I just went through the miracle of miracles. But yes, we are gonna close. Thank goodness, because I gotta pay for these weddings, y'all. That's my loss. All that alcohol was shocking. I was like, I just bought beer and wine at BJ's and I spent a fortune. They better drink it all. And I've got my choice of beer, so it's like, whether I like it or not. All right, so we're in section 10. We're talking about lead follow-up. Y'all, have you ever heard of the term, the fortunes in the follow-up? The fortune's in the follow-up. If you don't follow up, you don't have a lead. You really don't. And the way I've been able to close several deals from open houses is follow-up. Even with this guy who we just now got him in a house a year later. I continued to just reach out, send him properties, just passively, even when he wasn't ready. So this is our agenda. Let's just. What is lead follow-up? Well, there you go. You get another one of these. Your timeline. And these notches are relevant to follow-up because you get a lead, you get them in their house, they're your client, and then they're settled. And you kind of, you don't want to bug them all the time, but you want to definitely check in, send them holiday cards. It's always a great way to kind of stay in touch. Send them a random out of the blue pop by gift that you can hang on their door, knock on their door and say, I'm just thinking about you. I want to bring you a flower for the fall, a mom or something. Again, you see that trajectory going up. You want to look at that as probably a year before you think they might be thinking of moving. Reach out and say, hey, have you thought you have a plan, or like, are you looking to, maybe they've announced that they're having a baby. Like, oh, congratulations. So yeah, I remember that house being, 3-bedroom. I know you may still want an office in your house. You want to start looking at 4 bedrooms and the market's good. That's when you start bringing all your value out. And then just follow those little 36 touch. You kind of reach out with all these different things till it gets to the point where they're ready to move. The framework, possible business, probable business, profitable business. I love that because every person that walks into an open house is possible business, right? Every person that you meet that's interested in buying a house is possible business. But you see what happens when it becomes probable. You've made a phone call, you've done an email, you've done a text. You've done your touches with that person. So you meet someone at an open house. You capture their name, their phone number, hopefully maybe their address or email address, but even if you get one of those, that night, reach out to them and thank them for coming to the open house. And just say, here's something that helped me get that deal that's tough, but I got it. I host an open house. That person came through. They were from Northern Virginia. They did not want to hire an agent for a long term, but they didn't have an agent. I told them at the open house, I said, well, I'm here as a showing agent for the listing agent. So if you're interested in this house, let me know. I can help you if you don't have an agent. I told them that. That didn't register. They were just looking at the house. They left. They said, we might come back around 1 o'clock. You're going to be here till 1. I'm like, sure. I said, but I'll tell you what, if you can make it by 1, I'll stick around. I'll let the owners know that I'm going to be here a little bit longer. They came back, lo and behold, at 1 o'clock, swept in the house. They've gone to other open houses. And he said, if I decide to put an offer on a different house, you're not going to be my representative. I'll use that agent. I'm like, okay, clear. After they left, I thought, I think they really like the house. So I reached out, and what I said in that text was key. I said, this is Peggy. I met you at the open house at blah, blah address. I said, thank you so much for coming back through. I want to just remind you that I am not the listing agent. I was the showing agent for the listing agent. So if you're interested in writing a contract, I'd be happy to help you. They said, oh, we didn't realize you weren't the listing agent. Oh, we want to put an offer on this house. Yes, we want to, can we write an offer? And it happened. Now, it wasn't smooth, but it happened. And they were cash. And it was like we had to negotiate hard with someone who's a hardcore negotiator on the other side. Who's very experienced. She coached me all the way through it, thank goodness. She was a very generous agent. She was KW, so that was like, so, and that's the beauty of it. If you're hosting for someone, you're going to be working with a KW agent, and hopefully they'll be kind to you and like, they'll still represent their client, but
Yeah.
also it will be a good experience.
It's probably not the time for this question I'm gonna ask,
Okay.
but I'm always curious. You said she coached you through it. Can you, new agents, as inexperienced agents, reignited, tell me what happened during that process?
Sure. Sure, good question. I had, this client who, they did their own comp analysis. And it did not meet the asking price. And so my first call, it was Catherine Harnett with the Empower Home team. Yeah, and she's a very successful listing agent. And I called her and said, hey, Catherine, I've got a client who I met at the open house. And they are interested in putting in an offer. And she goes, oh, great, bring your highest and best. Okay, I said, they're cash, great. 3 people that came to the open house, all 3 put in offers. So we were up against 2 other offers. But we came in around 10, I want to say, and I'm just throwing numbers, I don't remember specifically, but about 10,000 less than asking. And, or maybe even 15. And she came back and said, my clients are very interested in your offer, but their lowest price they'll do is this. Can you go back to your client and let them know that they won't go below this?
This is already closed, right?
No, this is in negotiation. This is in presenting an
So
offer.
like right now.
Oh, it's closed. This
So
was
you can
3
tell
years.
us what she came back.
Yeah.
She didn't negotiate.
Yeah. It was like,
That's right.
the asking price was something like 585 or something, or 575, it was something like that. And I came back with 5, he was something like 555, I don't know, it was a gap. And she said their lowest price will be 565. And there were some terms. So what happened was, it was a psychological move because people are funny about numbers. They're willing to give closing costs if they see that net is what they want. So my guy was coming in below the net they wanted to, I mean, that asking price they wanted to see. So instead they wanted a rent back, so we gave them a free rent back. And we came in with the asking price. And then we asked for cash to close, which brought them closer to their number that they wanted, my number. So we played with the numbers, but Catherine coached me by saying, this is one way we can look at it. This is another way we can look at it. Let your client know that this client has other offers to look at, just guided me through it. And, of course, Patrice did too. But, it was helpful to have somebody who didn't shut it down, was open to negotiate through it.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning because it was all cash. And that we came up with the number they wanted, but they got their money out of it that they wanted. There was some win, there was some give and take, so it was a lot leverage, it was a lot of leveraging. But then through the negotiations of repairs, that's where we also had to go through a lot of, there were a lot of hiccups with the inspection and all that stuff. But Catherine was very much like, we worked together. Hi, Tammy. Y'all know Tammy? Tammy's with Vesta. She's the best. If you go with Vesta with a deal, she will take care of you better than anyone in the business. Just saying. Anyway, so it's really important to follow up and also talk to the other agent. And if you have a potential offer coming in that's strong, let them know what it is. You don't have to give them numbers, but say, hey, I've got this couple who they're willing to do a rent back. They're from Northern Virginia. They are paying cash. They can move in on the time frame. And, you have any other offers in hand? Yeah, just do that. And I would say do that with any agent. They'll either tell you, I'm not giving you any answers, or they'll guide you through it. They'll always say hi stuff. Or escalate. You can always escalate. But that's a whole other class. But that probable business can turn into profitable business because If you do this middle part, you're gonna end up with a client. And, it's the beauty of being able to host open houses, it's a great thing, and other things too. If you aren't first or second in their mind, you probably won't get the business. So that's important to follow up, because remember, they come see you, they go to this house they love, they meet you at the open house, you're all nice, you have cookies, you have, little treats for the kids, you do all this stuff. Give them your card, you'll be like, oh, I won them over. They've been to 4 open houses. There's 4 other agents they've met. You think they're trying to get their business? Yes. If you're the one that doesn't reach out to them, even if they don't want to buy the house you're hosting, even though they may want to buy the house they saw down the street. You are the one and I've had a number of times I've reached out and go, wow, I haven't heard from any other agent. Thanks so much for calling me back. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'd love to work with you. That couple that's on my app in New York, I met them at an open house and I just followed up with them. And then I put them on a drip of like seeing houses. So it is true. Any ahas?
Just reminded me to reach out to this person that attended an open house that I hosted a while back. But he didn't respond the first time, so I was just like, yeah, I'm not interested. And he mentioned that it's for his parents that are moving in a year. I'm always like confused why people go to open houses and they're not going to buy like a year out.
But sometimes that year turns into 6 months. Sometimes that year turns into 3 months. You'd be surprised, because a lot of times what's holding them back, they think they can't qualify. So the key is like getting them in front of the lender right away. When you follow up, give them that information. Hey, do you have a lender? Well, I'm with Wells Fargo. Oh, great. Well, I have also a lending partner I work with a mortgage company. Mortgage companies do great work with, getting it closed quickly, but I could also refer you to, this person, this person, this person, and then get them actively connected. And then you can say, you know what, you still not apply for a year, but it's always helpful to know where you stand right now, because you may need a little bit of credit, or you may have things that they can help you with now. And do you know that it takes probably 4 to 6 months of planning before you buy a house? Kind of lay out the timeframes. Like, you want to search, you put in an offer, sometimes you have a 30-day and 45-day delay. So there's, so you don't, a lot of people don't understand that, especially first-time home buyers. They think it's like, oh, I want a house, my lease isn't up for 3 months. Perfect time, start getting it going. Okay. How do we follow it? Okay. So these are ways you got these leads. This 19 to connect, this is all in command. These are smart plans you can look up. 4 touches. I would put them on a plan that you're reminded every 4 months to call them. You could text them if you want. 12 touches. That means every month you do something. Email, newsletter, micro report, video. Now there's a couple agents here that have had great luck. I'm going to start doing this once I get back to open houses. He does a video for the people that just, like he'll record himself say, hey, this is Nick. It's Nick. This is Nick with Pace Team. Thank you so much for visiting this open house today and you want to give them the address so they can be triggered. Say, I just wanted to put a face with the name and want to thank you for coming out. And if you have any questions or are interested in the house and not working with an agent, I would love to talk to you. Please get in touch. And that is way more effective. And he's gotten way more business from just doing that video response. And you can pre-record that, so it's not specific to that person, but just send it out to all the people you met at that open house. Touches, promotional direct mail. If you host open houses in a certain neighborhood for agents, like you kind of focus on that, start getting your name out through direct mail or on, these are things you pay for, so you want to just kind of work your way into that. I wouldn't do it right away. And then your one touch annual events. These are just ways to to build, to kind of keep your leads, keep yourself front of mind for leads. High value touch that solidifies the relationship you have, just establishes an open door for future interactions. So just kind of stay in front of them. How many of you have met real estate agents through your lifetime? Is there anybody you can just remember specifically their name or who they are? I mean, how many of you have been to open houses and have any recollection of agents that have popped out in your head? Yeah, sometimes you do. I've gone to a lot of open houses, non-KW. People are just literally standing in the corner. They don't talk, they don't engage, they don't welcome you. I mean, one of the things I do, and I don't know, somebody trained me this way, but I stand very close to the door. People walk in, I don't attack them, but I have my name tag on, and I have a card in my hand. I mean, like, hey, welcome, thank you, and I shake their hand, I introduce myself, and I just say, so glad you're here. And I give them a couple tidbits about the house. Hey, this is such a cool house. I want to make sure you see this up in the primary bedroom. That's got the coolest little thing over here. If you have any questions, let me know. Like some highlight, and then let them wander. And then as they're wandering, so by the way, I just want to remind you, we've got a little sign-in sheet. I've got some homemade cookies if you want to have some kind of refreshment. But we've asked the owner asked that we have everyone sign it. And then I ask them if they're working with an agent, just kind of go through those, but being right there in front of them, introducing yourself, name tag on, shake their hand, and let them know they're welcome. Like, it's almost like your house, you're welcome to. Mel was sitting outside. That's one thing Nick was saying he does. I haven't tried that yet, but I think that's a great idea. Being outside when they approach the house. And they're like, hey, well, thank you for coming to the house. Do you mind registering real quick before you walk in?
And actually, I caught people in kind of swayed them, like, they were walking by, there was a car that drive rolling by,
Uh-huh.
and I just waved. I'm like, like, naturally, I was like, wait. And I'm like, oh crap, you're really turning out today. So I'm like, hi. And he literally said when he got out of the car, he was like, if you wouldn't have waved, I probably wouldn't have stopped.
Did they like the house?
He was a realtor, but yeah.
Oh, he's a realtor.
Yeah, and
But
he was-
still, may have a
yeah.
client,
Yeah.
you know?
That's bold.
And his windows are tinted, and so, yeah.
And I think, I find, I'm not real aggressive with people signing in. I feel like some people are just like, yeah, but I try to let them know, hey, if you're working with an agent, it's really, so this agent can reach out to that agent, and have contact, so they know. And also, if you can find one thing that you can learn, like, but they want to know that you need to ask the agent, it's a good reason to say, you asked about the crawl space. I would love to get that information for you, but can you just leave your phone number and I can text it to you after the open house? That's worked. But they're like, oh, sure. But a lot of times people don't want to leave their information until they've been there for a little bit. And there are people who just do not want to, or I don't push it, let them do what they. That's me. 36 to convert. So you do your 4 touches, 26 touches, that's bi-weekly, that's a lot of touches. Events, 4 touches promotional, and that's 36 times you've reached out to them in a year. That is gonna keep you in front of them. So considerations for your lead follow-up program. What are my strengths when working with people? So this is just a good way for you to kind of think about how you're going to lead follow-up. It's really important to create a system with your lead follow-up. Because you're focused on new business, you're focused on meeting new clients, but if you don't follow up, it's not gonna happen. So I like this. Why would I be contacting that lead? So you want, if you learn that they are looking at a house, say you're hosting one of my open houses that I have listed in Churchill. Okay, what I would do, learn everything you can learn about Churchill. Get to know the local restaurants, get to know the school district, get to know the activities that go on there. And then when, when you host open houses there, you can actually reach out and, remind them of something going on, or are you interested in Churchill neighborhood? There's another house coming on the market. That's worked for me really well. Like I say, this couple from New York, that I met them at an open house. It was in Churchill. And they were wanting urban, and so I was just really pushing the Churchill, because I lived in Churchill, so I felt like I was really comfortable with knowing the area. And then I found out they were more interested in the fans, so then shifted our focus to the fan. But just staying in front of them and trying to bring value to them. And then you want to have these activities. So if you follow this system 4 times a year, that's quarterly. Quarterly, you want to have a conversation, just have some kind of conversation. And then monthly, get them on a smart plan of a newsletter or email or market report or something. And then, like, if you have their address, and I'm not a good example of this because I don't have a lot of people's birthdays and addresses. But if you can get them, get their address, so you can say, I'd love to send you a birthday card. Do you mind if I have your address? Just kind of looking at this as a system. And then you can create all this in command by putting them on these plans, and it'll give you tasks. It'll throw those tasks in front of you in command. So every day you'll open up your tasks and go, oh, I've got to do this, 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 and this. And it really does create a successful system. Promotional direct mail, you can do that. That is costly. So that's something you can try other ways if you need to save money on ways to do that. But then one event a year, you can invite them to something that is like neighborhood related. Like if there's something going on that you think is really cool, you want to invite your people, say, hey, I want to remind you, there's something really cool going on. Over at Crump Park, they're having a family day. I'm gonna be there. I'd love to see you there or something. So value is the most important piece of this value proposition. Have you heard that phrase, value proposition? So you want to create a value proposition, and that is just understanding what your value to that person is. And we will talk about that in just a minute, but value proposition is, I'm going to go back to that slide for a second. I look at value proposition as I want to be able to serve this client, provide good information, and also build trust and be the one that they trust enough to make the biggest purchase of their life. I also want to be accessible. I also want to be educated and resourceful. I would say more resourceful, because if you're resourceful with that client, doesn't mean you know everything. It means you're gonna learn as much as you can for them and represent them. Now, you also want to let them know what you're doing. Don't hold that fight. Like, big mistake I made, and I know this is a new agent thing that you can do, is like, oh, hey, with me working with you, it is going to be so easy for you to buy this house. You're not going to have to do anything. You just sit back, relax. I got it. Okay, you good? That's all I tell you. Well, then all of a sudden you're like, well, what am I paying for? I don't have to do anything. So then they're thinking, well, gosh, it's easy to be a real estate agent. I mean, it's just getting the closing. No big deal. No. Instead, you want to say, hey, listen, I know there's a lot of steps involved with buying a house. That's why it's so important to have a professional real estate agent to help you, because I will be taking this to the title company, working as a liaison between your lender, your title company. I'll make sure all the pieces are being done. You're going to hear from me often through this process, because we're going to continue to work together through this process to get you to closing. So see, I've laid out the value to them, letting them know this is not easy. This is why I am the real estate professional. I'm here to provide this for you. And then by the time they get to closing, they're like, man, there was so much involved to buying a house. And you're like, yeah, and I'm so proud of you. We did it. Congratulations. And if you, just keep me in mind with your friends. So see, it just all kind of works out. But that value, if you do it in the follow-up, right away, you can say, hey, I love being here at the open house. If you'd like to put an offer on this house, I can help you by writing the contract. We could sign an agreement, and then we can get this going. And just start getting them, are you qualified? You have a lender? I've got a title company you can work with unless you have one of your own. I mean, all that stuff, lay it all out. So this value, these are the personal communication is so important. If you don't let them know what your value is, they're not gonna know, right? And then the statistics and data will support your value. Okay, so your potential lead sources. These are all great lead sources. Some of this is old school. I think people calling it as a brokerage, but that's not really something we do. Community events, open houses, social media marketing, traditional marketing, your website, the calls you make out, these are all ways to generate leads. And then the follow-up statements or questions in your follow-ups. Why are you thinking about buying or selling? And then if they tell you, you sit there and go, oh, well, that's great. Well, let's just then end it there. No, tell me more. Tell me more. And believe it or not, the more you just sit back and listen and let them tell you more, you're going to learn so much more about what they are looking for, what they need, what they want. That person who said in the open house, yeah, we're thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe next year. And you follow up and you go, hey, so I met you at the open house and, I saw you were actively looking in this area. Did you see anything you really liked? Yeah, kind of, we're just kind of looking. Oh, great. Well, tell me more about that. And then it's going to push them to say, well, yeah, we're actually waiting to see what the rates will do. Oh, well, okay. So what do you think about the rates right now? And I'm like, wow, they're really high. Yeah, but at one point in time, rates were 12, 13%. And then when they hit that low 2%, it really kind of shifted the market where prices were way up. And that's, something we don't want to see, right? Right. So really 5, 6%, it's kind of holding the market at a good place right now. So, you can always, so let's talk more about that. You have a lender you can talk to, they can really guide you. So you see how you can kind of like pull them back in, and before you know it, they might realize maybe we should buy now. No, instead later. So all in that type of 3D questioning. And then what will it do for you and your family is really key. Like people have reasons for moving. They might say, oh, we've got an elderly family member who's going to have to live with us, so we really need a first floor primary. But they may not need it now, but maybe they're not as common as we want them to be. Hopefully these new builds will start. Yeah, and the same thing with your calls. Any ahas on this part of it? You can share thoughts?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what text the lead I was talking about, the person I met at open house a month ago that is looking to buy in a year and for his parents.
I would say this is a perfect time if you haven't reached out in a while and you know what neighborhood that was in.
Yeah.
Do a little research first and just say, hey, this is coming at Saron. It's close. How do you spell it? Saron?
Yes.
Oh.
But I also want to name that.
That's okay. No, if I spell it and I see it in my head, I'm better at it. So I would say, hey, this is Saron. I met you at an open house. You may not remember me. It's been a few months, but I just remember you saw this house at this address. Say, just wanted to kind of give you an update on what's going on in the market right now. You're still in the market to look, and then tell them what's going on.
Okay.
There's more inventory. There's few houses listed in that neighborhood. And are you still interested in this neighborhood or a different neighborhood? I'd love to talk. When we have phone call or something.
Thank you.
Always just find some value, some little piece of value, if you're unsure about what to say. Something you can just bring to the table.
Personal communication aspect of it, I can tell you that in my earlier stages, I learned that the hard way. And it was an existing client who I had dug them out of a hole from a previous property. So I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And that was me not recognizing personality type.
Right, yeah, and that's so
That people
important
you
too.
communicated with more frequently than I assumed and thought.
Read the room, read your clients. Post lead follow-up. Okay, so post lead follow-up, when two-way communication is established, then they become a contact in your database. So when you meet someone at an open house or you meet someone at an event, they're a lead, but then you have this two-way conversation of information and they become a contact in your database. So you want to make sure you add them to your database. And then that's where you start cultivating those leads, and that becomes someone you're having a conversation with, and then you want to dump them into your opportunities in your pipeline, put them in your pipeline. So like that lead, Saran, that person, put them in your pipeline,
Okay.
even if they're a year out.
Yeah.
That really keeps them in front of mind. Learning how to use command to your advantage is going to be a very helpful thing, and we're all learning. I resist it, but I'm working on embracing it and learning it and using it. Yeah, so we just went over this, yeah, high value touch there. Oh. Okay, well, we're gonna go to this slide. This unit is so much shorter than the other unit. So I love this questioning because it gets you thinking about like, has your thinking changed? What has changed about it? What ideas or mindset are new for you? Anyone want to share? Like, has your thinking changed for talking about like capturing these leads and following up with leads to build your business? You can't have a business without them.
I was doing about that.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying different ways to engage, to pull information out, to gather information.
Right.
I gathered that systems in place are very important, tracking your data and what you're doing out there. So systems that need to be implemented a lot.
So
That's
I
what
will say, Stephanie, to that. I really feel, I'm pretty empathetic, like I kind of feel the room pretty well. And a lot of you that haven't gotten business yet, you're just building your foundation of knowledge. This is all very hypothetical. So, you're learning all this and you're going, oh yeah, I mean, I gotta do this. But the truth is, you want to build a clientele, and the way to do it is meet people, connect with people, capture them in writing so you can continue to reach out. And if you continue that relationship and build that relationship, then you'll have that. And the likelihood of them using you as a realtor will be much higher than if it's just left to dust. I compare this to our relationships outside of real estate. I mean, you think about a friend that you made, and say your kids went to school together and you were friends all through that period. But when they grow up and they no longer in school together, if you really like that person and you want to remain friends with them, you're going to take effort, right? You're going to make sure, you like them, you want to meet up with coffee, you want to go to dinner, you want to hang out. You'll do that. We do that as humans, right? Bye, have a good day. think of your potential clients as those same people, like, you know. If you are that person who reaches out to them and very mindful of who they are as humans and you care about them and you bring, you know, but you're coming at them as somebody who can also provide this tremendous amount of value that not everybody can. Not everybody is a real estate agent, right? So I look at it that way, as those two things really are kind of one piece. So if you kind of examine your own personal life right now and how you connect with people in general, and your friends, and how you cultivate that, cross that over into business cultivation. And believe it or not, when you finally get a client and you get someone actively wanting to buy and actively wanting to sell, it's all gonna start to click, y'all. It's all these things you're learning are gonna go, oh, yeah, that makes sense now. Oh, I get it. Now I know why I have to follow up, because that person, you know, they're the lowest hanging fruit, and I'm right in front of them. Why would I let that go? That's like dropping the apple and let some squirrel come grab it and take it away, you know? I don't know, do squirrels eat apples? So as much as this is all kind of like, whoo, it's a lot. It's just reaching out to people, making those connections, and then hopefully, if they're looking to buy or sell a house, you're their person. And stay in front of them. Any of you feel differently? Like, what was anything meaningful to you today that makes you feel differently?
This is something that I've just been wondering about the entire time, since I've been here, how you do, well, what the process is like for having referrals, right? I know that agent to agent referrals, which is you touched on what you can't do, is I'm start writing a list down, but I wanna make sure that I'm correct in this. I wanna clarify with you, so you can do business referral business with someone in KW.
You can do referral business with any licensed agent. They have to be actively licensed, or they have to be in referral only with KW. Like if someone is referral only, say if I didn't want to practice real estate anymore, I could change my license to referral only. So I could refer out all my business to someone or multiple people. That means if I was no longer actively with brokerage and I was just in referral, I could say to you and say, Anita, I have this client who's looking to buy a house and I'm not active. Would you be willing to take my client for a 25% referral fee? You pay me 25% of the deal. And you'd be like, sure, love to. Then you take that client and you pay me a fee. Say if I'm active, but I work for KW, but I'm in Arizona. And you're here in Virginia. And I have a friend who lives in Virginia, but I can't sell them a house. So I would call you and I'd be like, hey, I need somebody to take this client and help with their purchase of the house. Can you help me? Can we work as referral partners? And if you say yes, then you would pay me a referral fee for giving you the client.
Right, and the referral fee is it negotiable?
It's negotiable, but they say recommended between 20 and 30%. And it's because you wouldn't have the business without it. So you look at the value is the business is, you're getting the business. So say you sell that person a $500,000 house and it's a 3% commission, you get $15,000 commission, you pay them 25%, and then then the rest is split between you and the brokerage or however that works. But that 25% that they get, they earned it because they had the client, they gave it to you. Yeah. It seems a little weird, but you can do the same, where you can actually, if you have someone that moving cross country, you could send them to a KW agent and ask for a referral fee. And if you say 30%, and then they say, I don't know, their price point's only 300,000, can we bring that to 25% or 20%? A lot of it has to do with the price point too. I mean, you want to think, you want to be fair, right? But you can refer agent, non-brokerage agent. But they have to be licensed. So say a licensed agent in Georgia who's with Century 21. And there she's one of your close friends, and you send someone to her, she pays you a referral fee. It's called an outside referral. And there's forms you can fill out for it, and it's all, say, in command, you have to do all the stuff in command to note it when you do your financial stuff.
Yeah, that's my next question, and put it in writing, where do you store it? So.
Yeah, so there's a referral form that's filled out that you both agree on a fee and a time frame, kind of like a buyer brokerage agreement, but it's a referral agreement. And then, when you do the sale, when you fill out you'll fill out in the opportunities, you'll fill out the information about your commitment, how much it is. And then there's a place where you can say outside referral or inside referral. An outside referral will be an agent outside of this brokerage. I mean, that's something Leland would talk you through, but then you put that information in and show the percentage and it pulls their fee out.
Okay.
Yeah, it pulls it out of the number. And then that will be handled through that referral document. Will be transferred, because it's brokerage to brokerage. It's not really agent to agent. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But referrals are great. I mean, Melissa H. Line does a lot of referral business, where she gets business from other agents. And then she gives business to other agents. So it's not a bad way to build business. Yeah, that's a good question. I hope that answers,
Yeah.
is that helpful?
Yeah, that's really kind of clarifies some things from the outlet. I'm a little unsure, about you could give referrals to other, brokerages.
You can, and but it only referrals and not sharing open house opportunities. So say you have a good friend who works for another brokerage and she needs somebody to cover her open house, you are not allowed. And same with if she had a client that needed to be an open house, you are not allowed to, to do a showing. And you have to be licensed in order to show a house. But that's within the brokerage. Now, if it's KW Midlothian, now I think it has to be within the brokerage, our brokerage. So our brokerage is different from KW.
So I couldn't do an open house for a good friend of mine. He doesn't know.
I don't think so. I'm gonna say I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure it's just within the brokerage.
Has to be within
Yeah.
The office.
They're all.
Yeah, because it's market center. Market center.
Supposed to be good market.
There you go, market center. Okay, any other ahas?
I'll say that, in the past, when like somebody comes to mind, or like you're driving down the street and it reminds you of something. I typically am like, oh, there's a thought, and now I'm capitalizing on that. So the other day, we were driving and one of my students actually ran across the street. And I was like, oh, that's a nice student, and I actually picked up the phone and called, and that parent was looking for a house. And so just kind of like, when staying in touch with people, I guess, it's worth it if they come to your mind to pick up your phone and text or call.
Right in there.
Yeah, no, because I was telling my husband, like, I know that kid, he says, we're gonna be like, I'm crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna call her.
But a lot of people, especially if you're a career changer, they don't know unless you tell them. Like, I did some silly announcement on Facebook when I first got my license, because most of the people in my Facebook feed are from my dance studio world or other nonprofit stuff that I did, theater stuff, and I put some post about, I just, switched, from this career to this career, and I put an old photo of myself tap dancing in the mall, Virginia Center Commons Mall. And it was hilarious, a bad picture, funny, and then I did one myself now with my headshot as a realtor, and I got so many responses. Just so much response from that, just being silly and just making this crazy announcement that I switched careers. And I was like, I didn't expect that, but I got like 500 or 600 likes and all kinds of comments and, wow, that's so cool, that's so cool. But then after that, I was like, okay, I gotta keep it going. So then I just started announcing real estate agent, I'd like to help you buy your stuff, and then try to tighten it up and make it look real professional and make myself look like that's really what I was doing. And then the minute I did my first sale, I just hit that hard, and it really did help a lot. So, you know, you don't wanna be a secret agent. You don't need to be hiding behind it. And yes, there are a lot of agents out there, but what makes you different from the other person? Think about what it is, what qualities you bring to the table that might be a little different from someone else. So now I'm gonna ask you a direct question. What actions are you gonna take? Like round robin, what are you gonna do? Tell me one thing. Focus on the one thing. There was a great one thing quote that popped up on my feed today. Something about if you try to do too many things, nothing gets done, but if you stick to the one thing, it gets done.
Right now, I'm actually building my Excel spreadsheet, but I don't have command yet, and I believe that some of the things, the sheet that I'm adding may be in command. As far as through my database, my leads, my, daily activities, just structuring my business.
Good. And you'll be able to move that over to your database in command. When you get command, you'll want to go through Scott Leroy Marketing, and they can teach you how to do that. It's an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And also you can download Facebook's lead, contacts into command. But you go through Scott Leroy Marketing, because there are certain tools you have to have in order to do that. Scott Leroy Marketing, and there should be information up at the front on the table.
Oh,
Yeah, and there internal marketing support, command support. That's part of what you get. Part of them.
It's a part of
Your fee.
is it in 30-day checklist?
On board.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, or it's in there, you have to wait for your license with them.
Yeah,
And I'll get you a 30, 60, 90. Do you have a 30, 60, 90 sheet?
I know.
I'll
Wait a
get you
minute,
that.
hold on. No, I don't.
Okay, that's a good way to kind of follow tasks that you'll do in your first 30 days, your first 60 days, your first 90 days.
Yeah, but this is how that will, I'm currently in the process of a little more.
Okay, yeah, all this will come in there, so I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you probably feel like a little bit, what is the cart before the horse or something, but yeah, it's all gonna start to come together. Anybody else have some actions they're gonna take, an action from capturing leads, following up?
You stole mine, and she did,
What?
you stole mine.
I saw yours.
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say, I have to concentrate on that one thing.
Concentrate on one thing? Okay. I like that.
Well, so.
It's not stolen. It's not stolen.
Hope you concentrate on your one thing.
Yeah,
Kim Seaborn gave me great advice. Kim Seaborn's a top agent here at all. You don't know her name, know her name. She's like, she's top in the whole region. And I just looked at her as like a guiding star. And, she goes, just know that you can only do what's right in front of you. Do what's right in front of you. And then just keep building on it. Just keep doing what's in front of you. Don't get too ahead of yourself.
Fight,
And I-
the fighting.
Yeah, and I like that, because yes, you wanna have that pipeline, you wanna have that business, but you got this right in front of you, that's what you deal with. Don't let the rest get in your way. I like that, and she's very successful. I'll take that as okay, I'll listen to you.
What's her big strategy? What's her big strategy? Like,
Well, she does a lot of new construction, she's got relationships with builders, so she is kind of the agent that represents some of these builders. So she's just, that's her mothership business, and she's been in business for a while, but she built to that, and she just took on another builder where she's working with them. So, yeah, it's really cool. So she's got, you'll see Kim Seaborn's name on a lot of listings that are new construction out there. She's the right group. It's called the right group. Yeah. And then, okay, so what tools and systems are we going to do? What are we gonna use? We're gonna use command. We're gonna try to use command. And it's not the easiest tool, but it's a tool that is there and it does have a lot of cool stuff. And I would say take those command classes and like call Scott for marketing and watch the videos and all that good stuff. Anything else?
Farming this week.
Farming, how are you gonna farm?
I have flyers already. Doing my neighborhood,
Are you gonna hand them out? Are you gonna mail them out or?
we hand them out.
Okay,
And then I'm creating a guide for the area to give that value add. It's not just a flyer that's available. So,
what's on your flyer?
so on the front side, it's, hi, I'm your neighbor, blah, 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 my picture and a QR code. They want to get like this name done. And then on the back side, it's neighborhood updates. So I have a business that I've spotlighted. And then I have 8 different events that are happening in the neighborhood
Okay.
on one side and another QR code for a guide.
Oh, nice. Are you gonna do this every month?
Yes.
Excellent. What neighborhood is it?
I don't know the neighborhood, but I'm Gator Park,
Oh, in Gifford Park. Perfect.
but I'm,
Gifford Park's a very active neighborhood.
well, yes, but I'm like off front runner, so I don't really have.
Are you like Gifford Park Terrace or?
No, I'm
Well,
like
that's
Inner Park.
all, pretty much inclusive
Yeah.
Gifford Park, I would
I'm
say.
like Inner Park, Bellevue, stuff there.
Oh, yeah. That's a good neighborhood to farm, especially with that information, because they do a neighborhood crawl like the
Yeah.
music and all that stuff, yeah. I have friends
That's
that do
where they're being right there.
it. Yeah,
Right.
Dots Cafe. I heard y'all had fun. I'm mad I missed it. I was sitting in an inspection with Crazy Dan. Well, what was that? So daily success system, this is really helpful. Try to have 10 conversations a day. Do all of you have 10 conversations a day? Try to have 10 conversations a day. You'd be surprised. You might have 10 conversations and don't realize it. But just try to get yourself in enough places where you can have conversations somewhere. And that might be on the phone, might be in real life. If you can add 10 contacts a day, I think that's a real high goal, but that's a good one to try to achieve. If you can get building your database, I mean, imagine if you really did that every day, how many people would have your database? But also make your database of value. Don't just throw anyone in there. I've had to take a whole bunch out. I've probably taken 200 out of my database. I was so proud of myself. I was like 500 and something. I'm like, oh, but I have these people on. Who's that? And I don't really have any information on them, and I haven't seen them in 100 years, and they live far away, or all these things. Social media. How many of you guys are doing social media engagements?
That'll be coming soon.
Okay, when?
Well, after I can finish getting my database figured out.
Do it now. It's easy. Join it. Just start posting something once a day. It takes like,
Just random stuff.
sure, find a meme. I love memes. I love doing memes. I love doing the silly ones. There's fun. You just Google real estate humor memes and you'll find all kinds of funny stuff. Nothing off color, but so like, I mean, I have seen some that are like, ooh, they're brave to put down there. But yeah, just start engaging and building your friend. Are you on social media right now? Yeah. Announce that you're a real estate agent.
Yeah, I've done that.
Canva, we're with Canva. Do it again. Do it all the
Yeah, I
time.
need to do a Keller Williams release.
Do it.
Yeah.
When are you gonna do it? No, I need to, I will.
I will.
And when will you do it?
I'll try to do it.
This afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this afternoon, he's gonna make the post. Can you friend me and I'll.
Sure.
Got it?
Yeah.
Me too.
Activity Realtor.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
What's your last?
Gresham.
Gresham. Like John Gresham. Are you related?
I wish. I can use a little of his cash flow right about.
Wouldn't
now.
that be nice?
It's Gresham. It's Gresham.
Oh, it's Gresham.
It's a little different, but hey, if he wants to share, I'm up for it.
Just the aha I just thought about is to be prompt with, like she said, when things come to your mind.